gentlemen, this is the Church Guys Podcast. I'm Brett, I'm the firefighter.
I'm Quentin, I'm the student.
I'm Craig, I'm the pastor.
I'm DJ, I'm the IT guy.
And I'm Rusty, I'm the coach.
And we are the Church Guys. Welcome to the new year of the Church Guys Podcast in a new room. We've got a whole setup. We got video cameras. You can even see our beautiful smiling faces. Or maybe some sad faces since the Longhorns didn't get in. Hey, we got so much fun stuff we're going to be talking about. Listen in, stay tuned, have fun. Let's grow together.
Happy New Year.
Happy
gentlemen.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
And to all of our listeners, thank you for listening to us another year.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're listening.
We apologize.
We've definitely had ups and downs. We've had some learning moments, I'll talk about me, just some learning moments, some growing moments. You know, like my house flooded twice. I just got my check yesterday, by the way.
Yeah.
Second flood. So thank God for that.
Build a boat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I for sure don't want to get a houseboat with as much as
Go for some gopher wood.
So,
Just in time for there be some winter damage in a week.
yeah.
Hail damage.
Yeah. How the wind's going already?
It did hail the other day, just a little bit here.
It did.
Yeah.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I got a brand new truck.
Oh, you got a carport.
Yeah, but not when I'm driving.
Well, there's that.
I thought you were going to say I had a car truck.
No, it's an El Camino.
It's a hybrid. It's a modern day El Camino.
Ford had a Ranchero,
Yeah.
which was an El Camino light.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
Ranchero.
There you go.
I like it.
Ranchero. I need a
It looks good though.
Modern
It looks really
I
nice.
love it.
Modern
It drives
day
so good.
Ranchero.
I have cruise control. I have power windows.
All the
and
buttons
locks.
work.
It's incredible.
Welcome to 2024, bro.
Oh my goodness. I'm so in love with it.
How long has it been since you had cruise control?
He had a black truck.
My
The black truck had it. The
Escape had it.
Oh, yeah.
My blue truck had it. But my big truck, it doesn't work. And then there's not any on the Corolla. So
Yeah, it does. It's when you hit the hill and you come down. That's your cruise control.
It has it. Has it too.
Put the brick on the pedal.
So that's it. I usually just put it in neutral and turn it off, and that's when it runs the best. But now I have a trusty vehicle. I don't have to do that.
It's pretty awesome, though. It's pretty awesome.
But what a blessing, because
So exciting. And it's got a cool color. It's a cool blue.
It's very
I like
nice.
the blue.
I love it.
I like the accents in it. It's UT Tyler Patriot Orange
What kind
on
of
the very
accent
inside.
does it have?
Go Patriots, baby.
So
I'm an alum.
it's navy with gray, and then like where the cup holders are, it's
got burnt orange.
It's not burnt.
That's not.
Know your color.
Oklahoma State.
I'm going to slap a sticker on the back of it now.
Oh, man, I don't want my paint ruined.
No, I'll put it on your bumper.
The bumper's painted too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all painted. It's not a real truck. It's a Ranchero.
It is
It's a Ranchero.
I have halt ladders in the back of that thing. That is a real truck.
Oh man,
Sort of.
already?
Yeah, dude, I've been taking Christmas lights down.
Heck yeah, man.
Hey, shine your light Christmas lights. Call me if you need some Christmas lights.
He's already booking for me.
Hey, we've had a good year. I've appreciated you guys. I love this thing. This is almost like a men's group for me.
Yes.
And beyond the sports, beyond the sports, it is so good just to have a group of guys that you can just text and say stupid stuff to at the minimum, but also ask genuine questions like we just did before recording, just to grow, man. I even if somebody else asks a question, you're listening in, you're still growing. So thank you guys for just a really cool year and whatever months for this recording. And I don't know if y'all did any New Year's. Do y'all do New Year's resolutions or try to have an attempt of doing things better this year?
I don't do resolutions because they usually end up failing.
Mine is don't flood the house.
I mean,
I would like that not to happen.
Yeah.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
You can only control that so much, though. Too.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I didn't want to say anything about my truck.
No, I know it's Sunday school answer, but read my Bible more.
Well, yeah,
pray more.
absolutely.
I know, but for real though, sometimes I just read the Bible like it's another book instead of saying, I need to take my time, slow down, even if it's a couple of verses, and see what the Lord can teach me through this. Because sometimes I can just read real quick and then immediately I forget what I just read.
I totally agree with that.
So
Yeah,
I think
I
that's
mean-
one of the things is slowing down when I read the Bible, taking my time and saying, all right, what does God want me to learn from this?
And
how
to
can I
go with
apply
that, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You're fine, man.
But to go with that, one thing that I struggle with is because I'm just like you're saying, it's a check mark trying to rush. I never pray to say, God, reveal your word to me. So I'm not just reading words. Like, give me your meaning out of this and reveal it to me, convict me. You know, like I just don't do that. And that's not what we're supposed to do. You know, so I think that would be mine to do a little bit better.
Well, even praying before church services, even if I'm not preaching or whatever, saying use the pastor to speak with us today, like reveal anything in my life. Like I need to know. And that's what I'm trying to be better at in terms of just, hey, like God is here.
Yeah.
Do we recognize him here? And we just forget that he's right there. We just got to ask for him to show up. I mean, he's always working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the same thing you said. I mean, there's a check mark thing. I get into a rhythm of, you know, I've been working a lot here recently since I've been put on this special project that, it's a whole nother story.
Wearing you down.
Yeah.
Patience.
But it's like, I'll be in the middle of that, be like, man, I'm struggling. So I'll pick up my Bible. I'm like, I got a meeting in like 10 minutes. Okay, I'm good. So I'll read something and put it down and go on about my day. And then I'm like, what did I just read? So then I have to go back after I get done with everything, pick it up and then reread it again. And sometimes I don't go back and pick it up. I just blow through it and then go on about my day and then just forget. So I get what you're saying. It's not necessarily a Sunday school answer, but it's something that I think that a lot of people struggle with. You know, probably except Brother Craig, but
Everybody struggles
I'm just messing with you.
Everybody does. I preach Sunday night, and I'm probably gonna do it once a month, a different thing once a month. More in 2024. What can we be more of for God in 2024? Yeah, a challenge. Not once a week, not the first week, but a reminder once a month. There's 12 things that we're going to need to do more of as this year unfolds.
Absolutely.
So that's the thing that's what I want. I don't really set resolutions, but I just try to be purposefully better.
Yeah. That's how I see it.
You know, as you go along, and we did this with Quentin his whole life, use teachable moments. And he doesn't really know. As we're driving on the road, something happens. What do you think about this? Or how do you respond to this? And because so many teachable moments pop up and we let them pass off instead of actually going, what should be our response? Or what's the right response? Or how could we respond better? Because we could always respond better. And so that's just how it is.
It's funny you said spiritual application, Rick, because I was thinking, it made me immediately think when we were cutting that tree out of my yard. And you were talking to Hudson about stuff and you said spiritual application. And then later after you left, he told to me, he said, Dad, I understood everything he said, but what is a spiritual application?
Good.
I said,
Hey, you got him thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, of course I joked with him first. I was like, well, it's something you got to fill out for Jesus.
Man, dad joke of the day.
I love it. I love it.
Well, you got to be careful because sometimes your kids go, okay, so everything your dad says is a sarcastic joke. So then when he goes back to school.
I'm going to hand them an application next time I see him. Be like, you need to fill this out, buddy.
Hey, let's have it at the welcome center at the front. Here's your spiritual application for the day.
But I mean, the jokes aside, it gave me that opportunity to kind of explain to him. I tried to explain it the best I could in the most like broke down child way.
Yeah.
So
Because that's how it ought to be done.
yeah,
Everything that we do, because we got so many people that don't grow up in church and they think spiritual application. They don't know. What does that mean?
Yeah.
100%.
And so that's why I'll say, I've started breaking things down. How does this fit in our life? How can we use this every day? And that's the words that we kind of need to, I call them Christianese words.
Yeah.
And because they're used in church, and that's the only place you think about them and use them and work them. But we can work through that because we got people that just don't know, which is not a bad thing. We're trying to help people to know. And so that's pretty awesome to be able to do that with folks. So,
Well, and that's a good thing about the Bible, though, is it's simple too. So,
what about a hot dog?
We found a hot dog wrapper in his chair.
It's my baseball chair. I mean, well, you can't be at the park without a hot dog.
that's a free
I
game.
mean,
that is so there ain't no relish inside there.
oh, I gotta have relish on
No,
mine.
inside the hot dog wrapper.
It's probably a ketchup packet in there.
It's all moldy and crusty. Blech.
I like ketchup, mustard, and relish on
I
do too.
Before we get down further, I just want to say, hey guys, what a nice donation we got. We got a text table.
Amen.
Yes, listen.
Somebody gave us a table from Facebook Marketplace, and we got the room cleaned out. Thank you to all the people that helped clean out the room, Miss A and DJ and Quinn. And
Should you mention the people?
I just did.
No,
just did.
by name.
Oh,
I
don't.
just did.
Who was it that gave it?
The table?
no.
I don't know. Yeah, it was on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought you was like.
I don't know how Quentin and I got on it one night. We were texting back and forth. I think we were talking about the room, and I was like, "Man, it'd be nice to have a table where we could all sit, and I'm not having to I can't see anybody but Brett because there's a huge monitor in front of me." And so it was all I can tell. I said it the other day when we were cleaning up. I was like, it had to be a God thing because I was flipping through Facebook, and Facebook was listening to me, and there was this article about how these guys had taken conference tables and turned them into podcast tables. But one of them mentioned, this is going to tell how old the article was because it mentioned Craigslist. Craigslist doesn't do much anymore.
It's awesome.
I think Craigslist is great.
And so I was like, well, I wonder on Facebook Marketplace. Well, I put in conference table, and this was the first one that popped up. But the one that popped up said that it was $300.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not.
No, yeah.
And so I saved it because I wanted to keep it this shape. You know, I wanted to use it as a reference. Well, I got a notification that the price had been lowered on it. So I pulled it up and it was marked out and it said free. And I was like, this can't be right.
Yeah.
So I messaged the lady and she's like, no, I've had this table sitting in storage for 6 months. I just want it gone.
Because she's paying for storage with just this table.
Just
in
this
it.
table in it.
Oh, wow.
But it's heavy as stinking lead.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
crazy heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy duty.
So
Well, thank you.
And we got
lady.
it's got plugs in the middle of it, and it's solid legs on the outside of it with
really
the
solid.
pedestal. It is pretty
a real
stinking.
deal.
It's solid
Yeah,
wood.
all we know is that it came out of the office of a CEO of a hospital.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
And
Legit.
we picked it up in Highland Park.
Well, I'm 100% blister.
Well, it tells you everything.
It ain't no Target table.
Target
Oh,
table.
yeah.
Well, I'm 100% blister because I just showed up after the work was done. So thank you.
right.
Just like all that you mentioned on Miss A and everybody, but y'all too. I know y'all worked hard on getting it done. So thank y'all. This is outstanding. This is fantastic.
And we have
Yeah.
video. If you want to look at our video link, we have actually two screens now. You can see us back and forth, and I don't know which one we're on, so we probably look stupid. We're probably wait for the wrong
You're
one.
on camera 2 right now.
What's camera 2?
We need to mark them. Camera 2.
Which one's 2?
Look for the flashlight.
The flashlight's on both of them.
Is it really?
Yeah, they're on them both.
Hey, it's lighting. It's
Oh.
lighting. It's good lighting.
That's
That's
weird.
what I'm saying. I'm saying, which one is?
There we go. Now it's only on
I
one.
feel like I'm on Joe Rogan's podcast.
There we go. How to do a cigar.
We didn't have Elon on the
Hey.
podcast.
Oh,
Charles Spurgeon smokes a cigar, so why can't I?
We got a nice graphic that DJ made. You know, look at that, just
like it.
perfect.
Oh,
So
that visual's cool.
we are on the come up, even with our 5 listeners out there.
You guys are
So-
just ticking
Go
for a
ahead,
licking.
listen.
Right?
Yeah.
Double that, and we want to make it 10 by the end of 24.
Our Timex listeners.
is this on Spreaker?
Yes.
Okay.
On a what?
I'm one of those.
I'm behind on that one. I don't know
So
what that one
yeah.
is.
I'm hoping we don't get kicked off of that one because it's made by iHeart.
Oh, okay. We'll be
Get
careful.
all heart.
we got kicked off of iHeart because of our beliefs.
They don't have much of a heart, do they?
They don't. Well, they do
we're
for
like
everybody but
iHeart.
us.
Yeah.
You got to believe
Yeah.
like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They're
Not
hard.
the American way.
They're not inclusive, are they?
It's not the American way.
They say they are, but they're not.
But
Yeah.
this table was definitely a blessing, and it's literally the perfect size for our podcast.
Yeah,
we thought it
absolutely
was
is.
going to be too small at first. We're like, but then we
It's perfect.
we don't
What?
need
We still
need
have
too
room
big
for a
either.
guest?
Yeah.
First, I thought
And
it was
we're
too
gonna have
big. We were in the
guests.
library. We thought, oh, this ain't going to fit in
Shout
here.
out
Yeah.
to Roland and Brother Randy, maybe future guests on our show. We'll see what happening.
yeah, I was like in my when we got it in the van, I was like, man, this table's huge.
I said, no,
So
that'd be good.
in my brain, I'm picturing we're gonna get it in here, and there's gonna be like just enough room for you to like squeeze in between the wall and a chair.
But there's no bookcases.
There's no bookcases.
No bookcase.
And once we cleaned out all the garbage that we didn't know.
Holy cow!
I like how you said that.
Fall Fest. It was Fall Fest.
No, it had some good stuff, but also some garbage in here.
There was something.
Once we took everything out
We
and it
didn't
was
have-
out there in the fellowship hall, we were like, how in the world do we fit everything
Yeah.
in this one tiny room?
It was funny because there was something
Yeah.
Miss A picked up. And she goes, I haven't seen this in 10 years. Trash.
And we have a throne in there if anybody wants to sit on a throne.
No, we decided that's gonna be the guest chair.
Oh, there we go.
No.
That would be good. That would be too
That would be
funny.
so awesome. I thought he was going to put it in the bathroom.
King for a day. You're king for a day.
Hey, they already had porcelain thrones in there, right?
So if you're not nervous enough about coming on the show,
that idea out of your mind.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, this is going down pretty quick.
He's trying to prepare for his message tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Sarcasm rolling, you know.
We're recording this on a Wednesday, so.
So yeah. If it's not awkward enough to come be a guest on the show, now you got to sit in an awkward chair.
I like it.
I like it.
It's not very comfortable. I sat in it.
No, it's not. We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into it, boys.
College football.
College football
Is
had a wrap
done.
up. I'm so sad.
I am too.
Best sport in the world.
Good thing is, here's the good thing. Since you play later, it's a shorter time.
That's
than you
true.
get to spring
Yeah.
football.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
spring is April like 13th or something.
Yeah.
It's Texas' spring game, so it'll be here before we know it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and A&M's, so that'll be good.
heck yeah. Hey, A&M's getting a lot of transfers right now. It'll be like
Hey,
Dion
They've
2.0.
transfers.
They've got to. Half the team transferred out.
Well, I mean, everybody's transferring.
Well,
Yeah,
a
it's
new
all over the
chapter.
place.
Well, that's
You
what
know,
I was
so-
saying. I think we talked about it before. Like
a new chapter.
It's almost like it's Major League Baseball.
Oh, yeah.
You just all it is now is you have funds at the school, and if you want to leave, leave.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's kind of sad that it's to that point.
But
If you wanna leave,
again,
you wanna leave.
the rules are still in place.
No, they are transferring for any reason
No, I know, but you only get one. You get one, and then when the coach leaves, you get one.
until
and then
you
if
meet
you-
the next criteria.
Which is graduate.
Yeah, or a coach leaves.
No, I already said that.
Yeah, or if you want to leave
No,
because
you got one. You got one of those.
okay.
You get one of those. You get if the coach leaves, or you get graduate transfer, which they've always had.
EJ Smith that just came to A&M. Did Stanford's coach leave or did
Yes.
he graduate? He did.
Their coach left.
But you get one
No, he didn't.
free
No, he didn't.
transfer.
He didn't.
That's what I'm
regardless.
saying. You get a
should have.
transfer.
You get one free transfer.
You get one
regardless.
transfer,
Yeah, that's
whatever,
right. That's it.
and then you get to
coach.
graduate, and then you get a new
That's what he
coach.
said.
Right.
So you can go to whatever
I said
school
that.
because there's always.
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you. What I'm saying is you can
don't
transfer
sound
at
like
a whim because you can say, hey, that coach is transferring.
Yeah.
Hang on, gather this together because you're not listening.
They didn't think you agreed with me either.
No. So what I'm saying is you can go on a whim because all you gotta do is pick a school that's losing a coach.
Yeah.
So you have at will
No,
anywhere you want to go.
Your school has to lose a coach.
Okay, so you can go to a school where you know that there's potential. you can move around.
Why would you go to a
Yeah.
program like that though?
Yeah, you
People
don't
do that
want
all the
to.
time.
Start automatically.
You're starting on because you're not going to play on Alabama if you're third
Oh, yeah.
string.
Yeah.
Go to another school, get your recognition. Now you can go to another school because you have your name. It's,
Well, look
it's
at Malik
'cause
Murphy.
People want to
That's
play
what
in
Malik
college.
Murphy's doing. The
Yeah.
backup quarterback at Texas. He's going to Duke.
Yeah, exactly.
But he didn't transfer.
He's gonna start immediately.
Well, look at
Well, I mean,
the
Duke's a
Johnson brothers.
mid-tier program in
They are.
football.
Transfer.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
The Johnson brothers, they're going to North Carolina. You know, Max
They get
and
a
Jake.
free. They get a free transfer though.
Yeah, North Carolina's
Yeah,
a good
but-
program.
Heck yeah, it is.
They're
I
gonna-
love
and they're
Mac
being able
Brown.
to play together.
Nice
How
place
cool is
too.
that?
Also,
Beautiful
Drake May.
place.
Drake May. If he stayed, he wouldn't have gone there. But since he's going for the NFL,
That's where
Johnson will
Berlin wants to
start
go to school.
immediately, You know,
North Carolina.
Well, Duke.
Oh, Duke.
Over in North Carolina.
Yeah, they're
Well,
both
it's not
there.
like
They have I guess what does she want to be, a pediatrician? So they have
yeah.
a really good program for that. So
cost you $1 million.
yeah, I don't have the money for that. Please get a scholarship.
Even if you get a scholarship, $500,000.
and then graduate and take care of mom and dad.
Yes, if I make it that far.
But yeah, people transferring, and there's like the running back from Ole Miss just went up to Ohio State, Judkins.
Yep.
Why not? I don't have a problem with that.
I heard he had some issues with his teammates
Probably
in terms of
getting along with them.
just getting. Yeah, he was. But you don't know. I mean, we're not there.
Yeah.
Who knows? Could have been NIL. Probably was.
most likely.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's not college football
So-
anymore. It's just like
No, yeah.
I mean
The vibe is still there at the games, though, with the
Yeah.
band,
Yeah.
the
passion-
crowd.
the passion.
That's still college
Yeah.
football. It's just a different environment concerning the players and the free agency
Yeah.
and the money.
Yeah.
That's what's different.
Yeah, that's
You can
where-
tell
that's where I was gonna go
but
with it.
also, it's just this generation as well. It's all about they're just entitled.
Yep.
They just want money. They don't care about loyalty to a coach or to a school. They just want theirs and they want to get out.
And I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Sorry for
throw the
hitting the
flip side. I'm gonna throw the flip side of that though, because how much loyalty does a company give an employee?
No, I mean, I'm with you.
something's playing.
We could fly south.
What is that?
Oh, it's this right here.
I'm talking.
I was like, I hear Bob's Burgers.
My bad. I didn't realize it was plane. It's two pigeons flying on the airplane.
Oh, watch the door.
Like one of them's flying and the other one's flying.
That's so funny.
Oh my goodness.
My
Why
bad.
would pigeons
That's
be on an
funny.
airplane? I don't understand this.
Because they don't want to walk.
Oh,
no.
How long
Great.
take it to fly? My
Where
wings
were we?
are flying. My
What
wings
were
are-
you saying about employers and
Employers don't have much loyalty for employees. Vinny, you're blessed if you find a company that cares about you.
Shout out
days.
Chick-fil-A, Roger Clark Enterprises.
Well, more than that, they know that they're not going to get a spot with premier pay in NFL.
Yeah.
Might as well milk all the money that they
That's what
can.
that's what they're doing.
File for
most of
more
them.
years of eligibility, which there's 8 years of eligibility, which is ridiculous, and they're not
Not anymore. Not
doctors.
anymore.
Is it that
anymore.
Oklahoma
dude was just
State?
approved.
That Oklahoma
anymore.
State quarterback just got approved
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
another
Yeah,
year.
he just got
7 years.
approved.
He knows he's not
But
going to
the
make money in the
seventh year-
NFL.
The
So
seventh
he's
year was
getting
a
it
COVID
down.
year, and those are out.
These are
So
all
we're
these
down to-
COVID.
So
Most
six.
of these
Yeah.
7 and 8 year players are all COVID still.
He's still getting it. I mean,
Yeah.
7 years.
That's a long time.
Well, Phoenix.
That's too much.
Phoenix has 6.
Yeah.
How many other teams put in? How many on
Washington had 9 6-year players.
Ah,
Those are grown men.
You know why they beat Texas?
Those aren't
That's one of the
kids.
reasons why they beat Texas.
So we have kids that are freshmen that are 19 years old
yeah.
and they're playing
Oh,
against
starting.
24, 25-year-old grown men
Yeah.
on a football field.
There's a huge difference.
Just because they're grown men doesn't mean they're better, though.
No, but there's a huge
They're
difference.
more
There's a
experienced.
maturity
Yeah,
level
they've been
to it.
there.
I
in
guarantee
terms
you,
of-
you put somebody on a basketball court that's 30 and somebody on a basketball court that's
Well,
18, and I don't
that's
care if
what
the
I'm
18-year-old has huge athletic props, the 30-year-old outsmart them.
Well, ask Quentin.
Until
I
they're
did
all
that at
eight,
church
a whole
camp.
bunch.
Did I
Until they're
not?
played.
They did.
I did.
That's what
Because
happens.
it's kind of like golf because you got the old man straight shooter down the fairway,
Yeah,
short shots,
exactly.
until they meet the young gun that can go blast it and they can also putt. And then old
Yeah.
man's over there like, well,
Well, that's Tiger Woods.
that's
though.
it. But it happens.
Most of the time they can't blast it down the
But there's
fairway.
1 in a million. There's one
Yeah,
in a
You
million.
don't
absolutely.
have any Tiger Woods either, though.
That's what I'm saying. It's not always just because you're older, you're better.
Hey, we need to talk about that too in a little bit. Tiger Woods
We will.
and separating from Nike. That's pretty.
We'll get there.
I love seeing him and his son play. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I love Charlie Woods.
That's so awesome.
That dude's
So
awesome.
we want to talk about the Texas Washington game with just a quick
Yeah, we can
snippet.
We can go
of,
back and recap
How
those
about
2 games.
Texas making it a game, honestly, because at halftime, I know it was tied, but I was like, all the momentum was on Washington's side. Shouldn't have been a close game.
Yeah, no, we had a group watch party, so it was pretty fun. But
Yeah,
that was as low in the game.
You know we didn't play good that game.
no.
And Washington, that
see,
quarterback did not miss. I know our DBs are nothing compared to Michigan's DBs. Like I said, Michigan has an NFL defensive backfield. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
and playing devil's advocate to what you said, Washington didn't come back out of the second half and really just put it on them like he did the first
No,
half.
yeah.
no, they
So they did almost everything they could to give
the
away a game
to Texas.
Yes.
And
That
Texas
happened.
got a
Got 'em
shot
back
with
in it.
12
Actually,
seconds
that happened
left.
in the fourth quarter because the third quarter
They did milk it.
Washington ran
Yeah,
like
they
20
did.
something plays. Texas ran 5.
I mean, we
Washington-
turned the ball over.
Yeah.
yeah,
Once
twice.
And they
the third
turned the
quarter-
ball
Once in
over.
third, once in fourth.
But they were driving and then they kept stalling and kicking field goals.
in the fourth quarter.
But that's
yeah.
where Texas defense actually picked up in the second half. They didn't play the same way in the first half. They made it halftime adjustments.
But-
And they threw that in there. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. You ready? Is they exploited our defensive weaknesses.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
No edge rushing.
Yeah.
No DBs, and those things are what Michigan does best.
Yes.
That's how many sacks we had.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
And
the
so when
key.
you get when they got the rush at the edge of Michigan of the night, and they knocked him down, you can see in the second half he was done. He was through in the second half.
will-
Yeah, he was having flashbacks to Indiana.
Yeah. Yeah. He was.
So, I hate to
Tearing
tell
his
to play like me and Quentin talked about. We lost both of our games to left-handed stinking quarterbacks. but
I combined 10 points.
yeah, to lose by 10 points, but to beat everybody else. What was this? What was it? You,
I'll pull up
you
the
have it? You don't have the
stat.
stat? I thought you kept it.
No, I have it.
But the to play our C game, and they played a great game.
Oh, they played well.
They played their A+ game.
Yeah.
Because you could tell it.
That quarterback.
They hit their
golly.
deep
yeah,
shots early against Texas. They hit nothing against Michigan, and that wasn't coverage because you can see the pictures of the Texas coverage was right on their hip.
No, that was coverage. You could watch the Michigan D-backs, and they were pushing them off the ball, off of the routes,
They're making
and
the
getting them
receivers
thinner
uncomfortable.
on the side.
Yeah.
Ours weren't doing that.
No,
they
they
couldn't
weren't.
even touch them.
No.
They were
Yeah.
running side by
They
side.
were running
Hips.
right. Yeah,
But also,
Penix was firing in like a dead gum.
Exactly
ping
was.
pong
That's
size
what I'm
hole.
saying. I mean,
Yeah,
Like
he
a
was making
laser.
some
It was
great
like
shots.
he would. They were comfortable throws.
Yes.
but he missed the
He
other
wasn't
night.
pressured.
He was comfortable the night in the,
No, he
in the
was
third
not.
quarter.
I don't think he was comfortable.
He was not.
There was nobody pressure on him, and he missed a doomsday.
I agree.
Oh yeah, I did
There
see
was
that one.
15-yard play
Yeah.
that he
There were
just
several he didn't
missed.
have pressure and he missed
It's
on.
both.
I agree.
It's
Yeah.
both. It's
He
hand
was-
in
It's
hand.
crazy.
Because Michigan though had the edge.
Yeah, they did.
And they put even though they had maybe 2 sacks, Michigan, but they put Penix on the ground almost every single play.
Yep.
He was getting, he was getting
I
blasted.
mean, he was getting hit
They had
a lot.
one sack.
they had one sack.
one
sack.
sack.
Yeah.
But they
But
put him on the ground
it was
every play.
I'm pretty
though.
sure he was being pressured like
But all year,
70% of the
yes.
all
plays.
year, which is exactly what I'm saying here too. Sark is fixing the questions for Texas because how many edges we got coming in,
Oh,
Oh
and
yeah.
how many DBs we got coming in.
we've got a
Better
big
fix the
defense
secondary,
coming in.
because
No, they
they
are.
that's
No,
who was.
that's what I'm saying. No,
It was mainly the safeties.
both.
We
It's
talked
both.
about it.
There's
Our
no edge
safeties
pressure,
were
no edge
terrible.
pressure,
Yeah.
and no DBs.
Yeah.
And he's getting all of them.
And I will
We
say,
got 7 DBs coming in this year.
Yeah.
You
and I
had
will-
the big old sweat guy. That he was still an animal.
oh, he was still getting in.
I
there.
love that
He was
guy.
still. He was getting
But-
back there. He was
Inside,
getting
how
pressure,
many
but it wasn't out.
Yeah.
I
How
that's
many-
going to be taken.
How many times did he go back there all year? He didn't get any sacks. They didn't get many sacks. They got pressures.
He got
all
pressure.
year.
He was the main one that was getting pressure.
And
they
no,
got
him and
pressure
Murphy.
with-
But-
they got
You like
pressure.
Murphy.
Is
But
that the
Murphy
guy?
and Sweat both were getting
Murphy-
inside pressure.
Is he 90?
Yes.
Yeah.
We just weren't getting
That's
no
the guy I was
edge.
The
meant to
edges
say.
were
We
nothing,
just weren't getting
you
no
know?
edge pressure.
And it's hard to get a sack from the middle.
Michigan did.
How-
But we got an edge
If you're-
transfer coming in. We got the number one edge in the nation with Colin Simmons coming in. We've got a third edge and Zena Missoula coming in. And so he's addressing those issues. But again, it takes time. We started off with the skill guys, went through the
Quarterback.
line, actually line for offensive line first,
Yeah.
and then the middle of defensive line,
Quarterback.
and then back and back and back. So they're finally with the back
Takes
end.
time.
We'll see, and they're stacking them. They're stacking them deep.
I will
So that's
say
what's good.
Texas is ahead of schedule for me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did not predict them in playoff. I predicted them winning the Big 12 championship, going 10-2, but I had them getting like
You know what I didn't
pick
predict?
6. I picked Michigan.
Georgia. I picked Georgia to win it all.
They could have.
And that, but what I'm saying is
They could have.
that was
Yeah.
the one that got Texas in the playoff
Yep.
because Alabama beat Georgia.
I think
Yeah.
they still would have made it.
It'd been
It just
tight.
it just
Because
would have been
State,
Florida State, Texas.
We'd have played Michigan first. That might be a different game.
Should have had
Oh my gosh, I
16
didn't want
playoff
that.
last
It's all about matchups, though.
I know.
You know?
That's what I'm saying.
I th-
Texas would have played Michigan first.
I feel like we would have beat Michigan, where Washington was a bad matchup.
I don't know
for
about
us.
that.
Michigan's
I don't think.
But it also depends
You
on
ready for
how
this?
who,
Their
what Texas
offense
team
is-
shows up, though, too.
Bear Bryant. Offense sells tickets.
Yep.
Defense wins championships.
Always.
And so that's true.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're getting there. It just takes a while. You got to remember where Tom Herman left the University of Texas.
In shambles.
We had Sweat.
Austin?
Sweat was there.
He did.
Murphy, Sweat and Murphy were Herman guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were.
On the line, we have one line guy.
He's gone.
Yeah.
But
He can block a soul. though.
yeah,
No, he couldn't.
There
What,
was no-
wasn't Worthy on the team?
No.
Or not Worthy,
That was,
Whittington.
Whittington.
Yes.
Whittington was on
Yes.
the team.
Worthy was Sark's first recruit. He went and Michigan had him.
It's a big.
I bet he's wishing to be at
Michigan
Michigan right now.
Yeah.
No,
They don't pass the ball.
He wasn't.
No, they don't, though. That's
He
true.
wouldn't have got near what he got by being at Texas.
McCarthy threw the ball 18 times.
Terrible.
What,
It was 10 for 18.
140 yards.
10
I mean,
completions on
Yeah.
the team.
Yeah, I know that when
Didn't
we.
have to.
No, yeah,
No.
300
You didn't
yards.
have
300 yards of rushing,
So
yeah.
you can't downgrade a quarterback because they were
But what changes the
bullying.
But he's not a first round pick.
what
though.
changes
They
the whole
think
thing
he's a
though
first-round pick. He
again
not a
is
first-round
how the defense of Michigan controlled the game that allowed Michigan to run the ball.
Oh, well, I mean, they're Ravens-esque.
They
team.
Yeah.
are.
That's what they
They're-
want.
That's what they
gritty.
remind me
Oh,
of. McCarthy ran
they're
the ball
built
on times that, I
Lamar
mean,
Jackson.
they're
yeah,
built on.
as Lamar Jackson is.
So to have a chance for Texas to have a four down chances in the end to even
Yeah.
think about winning it
Just didn't like the play calls.
was crazy. Out of that, but here's the thing.
I don't want to get into details of that.
I know.
Here's the thing.
You could do a whole show on just
Yeah.
that.
I've heard people say, "Man, they should that kid that got hurt should." I'm going.
That check down to
He
the
was
running back.
He was an offensive player that got hurt.
Okay, to be
I
fair,
mean-
Quentin, at your house, you said, don't run the ball up the middle. And the very next play was an 11-yard gain of a run up the middle. So how many times you just don't know what's going to happen.
So you lost all
the ball.
credibility.
but Texas is known for running the ball on the edges anyhow and
Yeah.
getting like big runs.
Oh yeah.
Like Jaden Blue,
I'm not discounting
80-yard
that.
run on that
I'm not
side.
discounting that.
Up the middle, you
but
can only get so
sometimes
much.
an up the middle can get
It's
you
needed. I
set
get
for the
that.
next game.
Well,
I
we
get that.
abandoned the run a little too early in the
Yes.
first half,
That's-
and that's what cost us the game. If we would have controlled the tempo of the game,
Well, and
maybe they
I
don't
think
score as
Penix
much.
is what cost y'all the game.
No, I
No.
think
Penix was on fire, and that
he was
defense
on fire.
had
and we
nothing.
still
it's
almost
still
won,
there.
and we played our C
Incredible.
game.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing too.
Well, they played a B minus.
With Rusty, is that we gave up in the third quarter of the run.
Yeah.
When they fumbled, they quit running the ball.
Oh, twice.
I'm going, don't. They fumbled at the end of the third quarter, the last play of the third quarter, and the first play of the fourth quarter. And middle of the third quarter.
Middle
Makes
of the
sense.
third
And the last- the first play-
We get the ball
first play of the
back.
fourth quarter, we were going on the 20-yard line. Blue ran at the 20-yard line and fumbled off the backside of Gunner Hill.
That was a freak play, though.
But that's what. That
but it was
cost
a
us
play.
score.
It
was still a play.
Cost
I'm
a
saying,
score.
yeah, I did.
And that's what, like, you can what if and say you ran. The thing is, they could have very well turned those field goals into touchdowns, and
Yep.
it wouldn't even be in a conversation
Oh, yeah.
if you're running more anyways.
For
because
sure.
they were controlling the game with Penix's arm.
Yeah.
He was outstanding. Longhorns had nothing to do to stop
Nope.
him. They couldn't, except for when they would stall because they're trying to, like you said, Craig, they were trying to run that TikTok. You know, they're trying to get that clock down, and they took so much time off the clock, and then they were like, well, let's just kick a field goal.
Yeah.
Because they had a good lead.
I mean, I still trying to figure out why Whittington wasn't targeted. He's the reason why we were even down there.
Yeah.
That catch he made.
Well, Sark said
You know?
he was the first look, and he got covered.
That's why
My bad,
Quinn
fellas.
said the check down was the third because he said it went to Whittington, AD. I think Quinn panicked a little quickly.
Yeah, he's not him.
He panicked
He's not
a
the
little
guy.
bit. He panicked a little too
Yeah.
quick, and he just dumped it off.
I really think I really like Quinn Ewers to go. He's not the guy. He's not the one that's going to win us a championship.
Man, that soccer
We might
beats
get
a lot
there
of
because of the defense and running, but he's not the guy.
Yeah.
The guy would have scored there and won that game.
No, I agree.
You know what I mean? If Manning 2 years from now, he's in that position, we're scoring.
Well, the thing about Manning though is he can run. So you bring into a Vince Young situation where he can pass it first, and if he needs a skirt off,
Yeah.
I mean, Arch is not Vince Young's speed, but he's mobile enough. He can run and make a play, at least get out of bounds.
Yeah, I
you
felt
know?
Ewers just hurried sometimes. He got lost.
He was nervous, man. You could tell
You
the
could
first half
tell.
he was scared.
I'll tell you, Manning is really good at counting. He's really good with numbers
Well,
because
yeah.
he just counts his cash while he just sits on that bench.
Hey.
Take that, Brock Purdy.
you know that he does that.
Dude, what else is he doing?
You
He
know?
ain't playing.
You know, you don't know that.
He's probably got his uncles in his ears
No, he don't.
talking to him.
Hey, that would be cool. Man, grow.
Yeah.
No, he had his grandfather. His grandfather's name is in the building.
Yeah.
Probably.
No, here's a stat though about Texas. Texas played 6 teams in the final AP Top 25, beating them by a combined score of 156 to 89, and 2 losses were by a combined 10 points. Washington by 6, Oklahoma by 4. So you lost at the wrong time though. You can't lose at that time. You know,
No.
you can't choose to have a bad game against Washington. You can choose to have a bad game against TCU and still win. But if you choose to have a bad game against Washington, you're going to get beat every time.
So the two teams that they lost to were both out of conference.
No,
right.
Oklahoma. Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
And then, by 4.
Oh
and-
wait, because Alabama they went.
Yeah,
that's
we
right.
beat
Okay.
Alabama.
Duh.
But still, I mean, Oklahoma's always a toss-up, though.
Well,
I mean, you can
that's
be-
why I said Texas was such a strong team that not the coach strong. Like
Nah, you're
this was a very strong competitive team.
Yeah.
Michigan was a great team.
Michigan was the complete team.
It
They were the
was
complete
Well,
team.
they've been building up to
Yeah.
it. I mean,
years?
Well, yeah, they
They
cheated
got-
their way to the top.
well, I was wondering when we were going to get into that.
Well, so all right, that's what I was going to get to. I was letting y'all to go through y'all's Longhorn stuff. You know,
No, I appreciate it.
whatever. But I wanted to get to the championship game because Penix looked like he did not deserve the Heisman, and then Michigan.
I agree with that.
I was so conflicted because I didn't want Michigan to win because they cheated.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't want this Pac-12 stuff to loom over our heads for like I was so conflicted on who should win.
But,
it's
I mean,
a crazy
I was
thing.
just watching
both-
the game.
They're both Big Ten teams.
You didn't
now.
watch the game?
I was just watching the game.
Oh.
I didn't really care.
Yeah.
I was watching the game, but still have an opinion over
I
it.
like Michigan's running
The,
back.
the cheating was in the back of my mind
Yeah.
on it. It was kind of like almost.
Is this valid?
They shouldn't even be playing.
My thing is the NCAA shows how toothless they are.
Well, yeah. It's all about money. They don't care.
because they should have
Because I
brought
know
the hammer down.
I know teams
early.
steal signals. That's not it for me. It's you put your staff member on another team's sideline in a totally different game.
and paid for them to get there.
Yeah, that's
And it's been doing this for 2 years.
And you
And we
started
have
off.
video evidence of him on the sideline.
that's way worse than the trash can.
You started off with a complete different 3-game suspension, and then you have
Oh, yeah. Like the recruiting was the first
Yes.
one. Yeah, and now this is cheating.
What about the
Golly.
the assistant coach? Can't think he was suspended 1 game too for something.
Well, they fired
in
the
connection
linebackers.
with the cheating thing.
Was it the first recruiting?
Connor Stallions. I don't know.
it was
No,
a
no,
recruit-
the-
it was a
the,
recruiting thing.
That was part of the recruiting. I thought that was part of the signs.
I think
I don't know.
the assistant coach that was crying during the interview at the end.
Oh, the black coach?
Yeah,
No, he wasn't. He never got suspended.
he did too.
There was somebody
No.
that got suspended, but I don't know
Check
who
it
it
out.
was.
You're talking about the offensive coordinator?
Yeah, he got
No, he
suspended.
didn't get
No, he
suspended.
didn't
He's the one that coached when Harbaugh
No,
was
I know that he
suspended.
got suspended 1-2 earlier in the year, the first of the
I
year.
don't know
Oh,
about
no,
that.
I don't
think
remember
so.
that.
There was more coaches
There was
suspended.
another coach.
There
He's
was.
right.
I don't
There's
think it
another
was
coach that
him.
was suspended, but I don't know who it was.
I think it was that coach that fired that Alabama picked up.
No, there was one that they fired, and then there was Alabama picked him up.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I just forgot.
Coach. Alabama picked him up before this game, so
All
they
right.
could take
Yeah.
their signals.
Let's
go ahead and just Google
Legally.
this.
Yeah, brilliant.
There's a way
it's
to
a
take
strategy.
signals.
Yep.
It's just the way
Absolutely.
Michigan did it is it's like you gotta be penalized for
To
that.
know that you
the way
can-
you did that,
Yeah.
Well, penalize more,
yeah,
not.
not just little. We're gonna take your coach away. Yeah,
And I'm tired of hearing this too. Well, the kids didn't do it. You know, you've heard it so much. It wasn't there. It wasn't the player's fault.
it wasn't.
Partridge, the Michigan linebackers coach,
Okay.
was fired
Yeah.
due to allegedly participating in the destruction of evidence.
And Al-
Okay.
and Alabama
That's what
picked
it
him up.
was.
But there was somebody else.
But
There was,
type in Michigan coaches suspended because that's just fired.
yeah, that was one that was fired. That's one that Alabama picked up was Partridge in the Pear Tree.
Hey, going back to that championship game though, Penix, man, it just looked like that defense from Michigan had got in his head to where he just couldn't shake.
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And that's why I was talking about
And-
the Heisman stuff. I was like, man,
Yeah.
they figured out a way to get in that
But
guy's
let's talk,
head, and they
though.
couldn't make a decision.
Let's talk. It's Big Ten football. Big Ten football is defense, man.
It is. It's only defense.
That's why
There's
they
no
scored
offense.
3 points
I
a
mean-
game. Look at Iowa. Iowa made the Big Ten championship game.
That's a little
Not because
misleading.
of offense.
That's a little misleading because Ohio State's not about our defense. They're about offense.
I know.
And that's the
Ohio
only
State.
2 teams in the Big Ten that are any good other than Penn State ish.
Wisconsin.
but
Penn State's always average.
Really? Wisconsin hasn't been relevant since Ron Dane.
But let's talk about but all the ones that have been relevant have been defense. It's because Big Ten is a defense centered thing. It is.
I don't
There's
know.
no question.
I don't. I'm not
Michigan's-
going to argue with
Michigan
you.
is-
I don't know.
Michigan is.
Defense, but
Minnesota.
nothing.
I think it's just team based.
I don't think the rest of them are.
What is
I
Big
mean,
Tw-
Penn State is.
What is
Oh.
Big 12 known for?
Offense.
So
Or
and
no
then,
defense.
but I think that they're big bodies compared to Big Ten. I think you got big bodies and it's more balanced
Big bodies, what?
with your linemen and
Oh,
stuff.
no,
like
no.
I think that your big bodies.
That's
It's
why
not
Texas was
SEC
so
ball.
dominant this year because Texas had big bodies. Big 12 has medium sized bodies.
Except
Okay.
Texas.
All right, well, fair
Big
enough.
12 is
Big,
built-
Big 12
Big
has
12 is
good
built for speed.
skill
Yeah.
positions like
Big 12 is built for
receivers and
speed.
stuff like that. That's
Offense
what
too.
they have.
That's what Tom Herman built the offensive line he did because he thought he could outspeed everybody to block and whatever else. You can't do that.
So whenever
You gotta
I
have
watch
people-
games, you see a Big 10 playing Big 12. You always hear them say, "Well, they're having a tough time handling these big bodies of these Big 12 boys." So, but what I'm getting at is it's a team identity. I don't think it's a conference in and of itself necessarily because Texas Tech is not the same as Baylor. It's definitely not the same as because they're just
TCU.
all offense and zero defense.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't consider Big 10 just defense. I think it's just they have two good good teams, not great teams
How
necessarily.
about
every year.
there's no offense in the Big
I mean,
Ten.
no, that's
Penn
not
State-
true
Penn State's a
either.
good defense.
They've got good offenses. Maryland, Rutgers, they're all run and gun. They don't. Yeah,
But if they play
take them
Penn
from
State-
playing the best teams and they're playing against each other. They're playing upbeat tempos.
Yeah,
I
Penn
mean-
State's not.
No, Penn State's not. I'd say Penn State was one of the ones
No,
that
I'm
wasn't.
saying
Yeah.
the ones that are leading the conference.
I said that.
the ones that are leading the conference.
Penn State's not leading the conference.
Are we
It's
reserved
just
or
Michigan
fourth?
and Ohio State.
They're third or fourth.
There ain't nobody else.
Hey, here's a stat for you, Brett.
Oklahoma State wasn't leading
Well,
the
now-
conference, and they were number 2.
I mean, Washington
You know what I
now. Washington's in the Big Ten now. So
I got a stat for you for Penix. All right, against Texas,
What do I want?
passes passes 10 plus yards downfield. Penix was 10 for 13.
Massive.
307 yards, 2 touchdowns,
Yes.
0 interceptions. Okay, Michigan game, 3 for 16, 71 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
But why?
Completely different quarterback.
Outside
But
rush.
also, I did say this, my dad. First of all, he had a career day against
Defensive
Texas. There's no doubt. Like you can't
it's
replicate. You can't replicate career days. But
Yeah.
also, you got pressure and you have defensive backs. I mean, everything played a part why Penix was that bad against Michigan.
And I'll say this: Michigan's defense turned Penix into Dak Prescott.
Worse than Dak Prescott.
Amen.
Well, they
I'm
didn't
so
have a
glad we're
running
on the
game.
same level on that now.
No, but that
The runner was hurt.
Yeah.
Texas hurt at the end. Here he got, that was a weird play because I don't really see how he got hurt.
Yeah.
This is a normal tackle.
It's because they were losing.
I will say this also that like with
No, he
like
got carted off. And
Turf.
He had a burst of sack that busted his knee.
Yeah, it
That's
was
what hurt.
turf.
It did it.
that I feel that with like 5 or 6 minutes left in that game,
Honestly,
at that point Michigan was running away with it. They should have just pulled Penix. Because that guy, every time he got up, he was holding that
No,
side.
You
let
want
him
your best
enjoy
guy
his
in there.
last minute.
He wasn't enjoying any of that
He's a
game.
He's a 7th-year senior. He finished in the game.
He's
Man.
gonna finish the
You
game.
wouldn't pull him.
I would have.
No, never. You don't want to put in your absolutely worst option. I mean, he's your best option.
Till the very end, you go out fighting.
you're going to go out
I don't care
fighting.
what it is.
Before we transition, the Bama-Michigan game, people forget that Michigan was down most of the second half until the very end. And then they put together a drive, tied the game up. Then
Alabama had that boneheaded play at the end that was busted.
They went to overtime. Quorum took it, scored. Alabama couldn't score. They couldn't snap the ball.
Also, let's just
center.
let's
So
just
really, Alabama dominated almost.
let's burst the
second half, and
Alabama
then-
people bubble right now. Oh, Texas beat Alabama. We were way down. We got better every game all year. You think every other team doesn't get better every game all year?
I agree.
Absolutely,
I mean, come on,
they do.
people. Shut up. Were they won the game early or they won the game late? It's the same thing.
We got Paul Feinbaum in here, ladies.
Roll Tide.
Paul, way to go, Paul.
I just think it's so funny to hear them talk like that and go, well, they got Texas when it was so low.
You gotta admit though, Texas played one of their best games of the season.
No, they
too.
did. That's what I'm saying. But they don't give that credit.
If
They
Texas
say,
plays that way against Washington, Texas wins.
Milroe grew so much. Milroe's the reason they lost that game.
Yeah.
All about matchups.
It is.
And Alabama was a good matchup for us. Washington wasn't.
Oh yeah.
And that's why Texas and Michigan would have been good because Alabama and Texas was good.
Yeah.
Michigan was the only kind of different team out of all three of those.
I still had Michigan winning this whole thing anyhow.
Oh, yeah.
I don't feel like Texas would have been a good matchup
See,
for
I
Michigan.
didn't because they've been so overrated in the past.
I agree.
Because they don't play anything, like you said.
Yeah.
They
There's
play
only
nobody.
two
Ohio
good
State,
games,
Yeah.
two teams in it,
Penn State,
and
Ohio
like
State.
it's hard to pick somebody
Yeah.
like that.
And those are
Congratulations,
games.
because they
Yeah.
played outstanding.
But did
they
they
left
steal,
no doubt.
Did they steal the signs?
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
No comment.
Talking about for the championship.
I don't know.
championship?
Once a cheater, always a cheater.
I heard trash cans banging in the background.
It was at Houston.
Yeah.
Sure you did.
That's what you caught on.
I finally caught on to that one. Okay. But
They served Washington pizza.
Pizzagate. I love it.
It was good.
That's funny.
It was kind of an underwhelming championship,
It
I
was.
guess.
It
But
was.
it was but I think that the committee did well on their selections because the team the scores were close, as well as who made it to the championship. It was kind of lackluster because nobody wanted to buy tickets to that. But
I'm not going to let you off that one too easy because how many championship games have ended up in duds?
Yeah. I will say the third quarter of that game was the best.
Many of them have ended up blowouts.
yeah, but not
I mean,
this
go back
one.
to the
I mean,
90s.
necessarily.
All the games this year were really good.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying going back to the 90s and they were all just blowouts.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this year. I said
This year
props
was
to them
nice.
this year
No.
because they made good selections.
But what I'm saying is,
They did.
you said like, the championship game was kind of blah blah blah. I thought it was a pretty good game.
It was until the fourth quarter. It was
it's
a good game.
34 to 13. You know, it's not like it was 34-30.
what Brett is saying is
It
the
was-
hype around the game.
it was
with
20 to
Washington being
13.
in It
I
wasn't the
guess.
same as
It was
Michigan and
close
Texas.
It
until
was
the last.
20 to
That's
13
what you're
going into
saying.
the fourth quarter. It was a good game.
What he's saying is the pageantry wasn't the same compared to if you have Alabama and Texas or Michigan
Yes.
and Texas. The branding of it just didn't feel
Well, it's
there.
because it's Washington.
It's Washington.
What's
It's a cool
Washington known
story,
for?
They're a
but it's like
mid-tier
TCU last
school.
year.
Yeah.
It's like TCU last year.
They're
It's
going to
like,
come up every 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
you know,
exactly.
it doesn't have that same vibe
Yeah.
as a
This is
Not the Titan.
yeah.
this is their one shot for the next however long till they get another Michael Penix.
Hey,
I don't think they'll be back in a while.
One of the cool things that I seen too was the Harbaugh brothers hugging on
Yeah.
the sideline. I thought that was cool. I'm like,
Well, how about his dad?
Still love a cheater.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Penix though for a second though. You know, you did get 7 years to have ACL tears on both knees.
Yeah.
That's
And then
crazy.
his
And
shoulder,
repeat
and his
surgeries.
shoulder.
That's crazy.
So he was out 3 years actually.
and so, you know, if you're going to give a kid a chance to do it again,
That's one.
I have a problem
Yeah.
with that. Because if you get blown out early in the year,
How many medical years do you get?
I'm okay with
As
that.
many
yeah, I'm
as
too.
I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with just 7
No, I
years.
mean, like,
No.
what limit would
Like-
you put on there? For how many medical years would you give a guy? Is there a limit?
Until you can fit, I guess.
Well, I mean, I'd give
there's
them-
got to be some kind of limit, right?
three.
Three
Has to
games
be
a
No,
year.
no. I'm not talking about like what's wrote on the books. I'm asking you, give the guy as many times as you want. What's the limit?
Oh, I'd give him as many times
If he wants
if
to
he
come back.
if he
36?
blows his 8. Yeah, but I mean, if he's
He
not
got hurt for 10
he's
years
not
in a row.
playing. He's not
Sure.
playing, so it's not.
True.
I would think
Because it
so.
has to be within the first 3 games.
But
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
long as he's going to school, because you still got to have your school eligibility.
Yeah,
That don't matter.
No, it does matter.
Okay,
They have to
technically,
have-
but they don't go to class. They don't have the hard. Okay,
No,
you got to
but
go to
if you're-
chemistry
if you're enrolled in
303.
school,
No,
if you're enrolled in
you-
school, you got to pass enough classes to graduate.
I mean, I don't want to say this on radio, but I didn't go to my classes
Exactly.
for
It's not
a
really
whole
class.
week and still made
Sure.
straight A's.
Sure.
Whenever
What
I
are you
was,
wearing?
I lived in the
I
same
mean,
apartment complex as Martellus Bennett. That
you know-
dude never went to class. He
Never
had
went.
everything given to him. It's
You know.
just a facade. That's all it is.
I'm not saying that you don't learn because I did learn, but there were times
So
that I
what's the
didn't show up.
graduation rates? What's the graduation rates?
Probably pretty low because everybody leaves.
Yeah.
It's not as low as you think. It's
No,
pretty high.
I'm pretty sure it's high. I mean,
Yeah, it's pretty high.
I don't
especially
see very many graduate stickers on the people's shoulders whenever they play.
Yeah, they probably get them later on.
I don't
They
know.
don't
I'm
graduate
just
till
saying I
May.
don't see
They
it.
play,
I don't know,
they
so
play
I'm not getting involved in this discussion.
in
Me either.
May. So
We want to quickly
Sorry,
talk
I think
about
it
the final AP top 25, or y'all just want to go to the fantasy football?
Like the projected?
Just
Yeah,
they
do
had the
it.
final one.
No, the final one.
Michigan 1.
end of the year.
Washington 2. Texas 3. Georgia at 4. They put Georgia over Alabama at 4 for the final top
Well,
25.
because they made a statement.
yeah.
Yeah.
5 Alabama, 6
Yeah, but
Oregon. They
let's talk
put
about
they
that
put
for a
tie
second.
for 6. They did 6 Oregon, 6 Florida State.
Here's the thing, though.
This is
Let's back up here quick. I'm with
24.
you, but hey,
Oh, the way too early.
Florida State, they had a chance to say something, and they didn't.
Well, they should have just not played.
Yeah.
No, but they wouldn't have.
Would have been a lot
have
better
their
We're mad
leverage.
because we're not in there, and we are backup quarterback. We're not in there, and so we're just not going to play in the game, and we're going to throw out people, and we're going to give you 63-3. Shut up.
I don't know.
Shut up.
I don't know. That's not fair because there was a lot of people that didn't play because they weren't in
Even
it.
Kirby Smart said this wasn't a true game
Yeah.
because
Right.
they
No,
literally
that's
had
what I'm saying, though. If you want to make a statement, play in the game and beat them.
How about
Yeah.
just get rid of
I don't
those
think
bowl
so.
games and go
They
to
will.
a complete playoff?
Well, they'll be.
I mean, it will once the
but
12 year, once the 12 team
Yeah,
kicks
next
in
year
next
Florida
year.
State
So.
would be in because it's 12-team playoff.
They're not going to get rid of them, but I know what you're saying.
Hey, the
Rebranded.
But
it.
again, Texas State went to a bowl game, very first one ever, and won theirs. Good for them.
Yeah.
oh, fantastic, dude.
That's all. And then what year? This is their second year in the FBS.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's only their second year.
Pretty awesome.
Oh,
That's
I didn't-
fantastic.
I didn't know they were in the FBS.
Yeah.
Liberty.
cool.
Liberty ended at 25.
They made a bowl game.
Awesome.
They
TJ Kinney from Canton was there.
Well, I know A&M
Ladies and
Commerce
gentlemen.
is a FBS school now.
We knew it was going to happen,
Pretty awesome.
though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I knew that Liberty game was going to be a trouncing, but to finish in the top 25 at the end of the year is pretty good for them, though.
They scored the first touchdown. Go Liberty.
And I want to give.
And then Oregon figured out their offense,
Yeah.
and they're like, okay, we'll shut this
I know
down.
my
You meant
cousins.
to say the first.
Oregon was trying to get to
only.
heaven.
Bo Nix
Let the
was
Baptist
playing in
school
that
score.
game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, he got the completion percentage record. He passed Joe Burrow.
Yeah, which
got it.
shows.
Bo Nix.
But
I will say this real quick that they should move the Heisman to the end of the year because Penix deserves it way more than Daniels did.
I don't know. That last game did show it.
Well, yeah.
Oh my God!
If you're
He
just
might-
basing it off specific games, then
I'm not. I'm
to the
basing it a year
Whole
overall.
year.
I mean,
Penix is a better quarterback than Daniels.
I felt like it was.
All year long, he
He
was.
produced against Oregon twice.
Daniel's stats
Yeah.
are patted against weak teams. Case point.
He
Done.
produced great against Oregon, and then Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, those are some good games you got to produce, and he produced. He had one bad game, national championship game.
At one bet half.
One bad half.
Yeah, I was going to say
That second half,
the
he kind
second
of.
half he was.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that defense, I mean, that was a buzzsaw of a defense that he had to fight through, and
Put Daniels in that defense.
Probably one of the best
Would've won.
defenses we've seen in a long
Yeah.
time, too.
Man, that was number 55. His name is Graham.
He's a true sophomore.
Yes, and that kid was just wrecking shop. I liked him.
Okay, here's the question. For the Heisman again, the Heisman is done too early. I agree with DJ.
Yep.
I do agree with that.
But here's the thing. Is the Heisman the MVP of the year supposed to be?
Supposed to be, yeah.
You change out Penix for any other quarterback, they don't get there. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you have to look at it that way. You have to look at, can you put this quarterback in this system and he still make the same numbers?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't answer that question.
You can't teach intangibles.
Exactly.
And that's what Penix had.
Yeah.
And Daniels doesn't.
He's also not mobile like Daniels is.
He doesn't have to be. When he can fit
when you can sling a
big of a
30, 40 yards down the field.
You know?
His accuracy was above no other, but if they had a running back or a running threat to open up, if they had another running threat in the backfield against Michigan, could it have opened it up?
No.
I think it could have.
Not with that defense.
We weren't going to run against them, or Washington was.
They didn't run against us.
Yeah, we clogged it up on them too. You can go look at the stats.
I'm not arguing.
Well,
I'm just saying you can what if stuff to death is what I'm getting at.
We control the line.
Like
I know what you're saying. You're devil's advocate 101.
Yes,
but Penix
saying this. Penix should have been a Heisman this year just as much as Vince Young should have been at the year he lost it.
I don't know. You can what if stuff and you can say all this
because Vince Young should have beat Reggie Bush.
I'll say that Penix should have won because of who he put on his inside jacket. Like he seemed like he was a much better person. I mean, he put his team inside of his jacket, right? Am I making this up?
No, he
Y'all are
didn't.
looking at me weird. Like I think it seems like he's a great guy, and then Daniels had him. You know what I mean? Like I get it, but you can't sit here and say this and that.
Anymore. I've lost respect for the Heisman anyhow because it's all political anyhow.
Penix is one of those generational talents that if you take away that running game, even though he's not a very mobile quarterback, he's still going to be able to get to, like Rusty said, those tight windows like he did on Texas. I mean, he was gouging Texas, of course. Obviously, Texas didn't have the secondary. 30, 40 yards. I mean,
still had to make the throws, though.
Those throws were impressive.
I mean, those wide receivers on a run right over the defender. I mean, perfect.
Not losing stride.
Yeah.
Crazy. I've never seen that.
And that testament to those receivers.
Yes.
Too.
Yeah.
Because if somebody else is throwing to some really good receivers too, they can still make plays.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean
look how good that the persona of Dak is this year with his completions and stuff. It's because of
CD Lamb.
CD Lamb.
No, it's not.
And because of the time. Okay,
it's because of the secondary.
You're right. Put terrible
it's
tight ends
because of the
out there.
secondary receiver that's taking a lot away from CD Lamb and opening up CD Lamb a little more that they just can't key in on CD Lamb.
It's a little bit
because there was nobody else. Now they got Cooks that can actually catch a ball.
I'll save that for the NFL segment.
Yeah, we were
right now. Because the Cowboys are going to win this week. Mark it down. The Cowboys are in the NFC Championship. They're going to beat Green Bay and the Lions. They're there.
I'm gonna be a realist here. First, the Lions are gonna lose.
Save it. I got something with college.
Yeah.
All right, we're talking about too early. This is the too early 24 college football top 10.
So this
too
is
early.
If the season started today,
This is what.
Okay, wait a second now. We all agree though that polls should not be taken.
I don't agree. I think they're fun. All right, Georgia number 1, Alabama number 2, Texas number 3, Michigan 4, Ole Miss 5, Ohio State 6, Oregon 7, Penn State 8, Missouri 9, and Arizona.
That's a Big 12 team.
Arizona, maybe.
Texas lost too many people. We'll be 7th. We lost too many people.
Yeah, we lost a lot of people.
We're going to have good guys, but they're really young, and so it'll be 7th.
The SEC is going to beat up on each other next year.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be
definitely
They do every year.
No, yeah, but it's going to be even more because they brought in 2 powerhouse teams.
Yeah.
I know.
And I know
Oklahoma, I mean.
But the cool thing is Texas plays Georgia and Oklahoma plays Alabama. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
And we play Michigan week 2.
At the big house.
Yeah, don't we have 3 back-to-back? We got Michigan, Georgia, and Oklahoma in a row. It's either going to be a good year
there's a week between
or a bad year.
No, there's a week between Michigan and Georgia.
Is there?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
against
like ULM or something.
So it's a
UTSA.
It's one of those.
I think there's
we pay you games.
Yeah,
the ones that A&M gets a hard time for.
Well, that's because you lost the Appalachian State.
There's actually 2 weeks.
And others.
I think there's ULM and a bye.
No, we actually UTSA is no slouch.
But it's considerably smaller.
No, it
is.
I mean,
because they got the guys.
They're good for their league, but not this.
They got the coach that should be in.
It's FBS. It's FCS.
Elko has done great. He's got the number 3 transfer in the nation right now. He's number 3 for the transfers coming in.
He's doing what we thought he would.
So
he's a good bridge.
He is.
I'm just saying.
Hey.
He's number 3 in the transfer right now. I
I'll say
think he's
this.
doing good.
He's good now. We'll see how he does.
100%.
The
when
bad
games
thing
come.
is,
That's why I
That's
can't
what they
say
said
he's
about
going to do this and
Jimbo.
this because I got to
That's
wait and
what
see
they
let
it.
me just tell you how stupid it was to have that guy coach their bowl game and recruit for Syracuse
Oh, I just
on their bowl
I
game.
was.
I mean, that was the Aggiest of Aggie moves.
That was Aggies move.
I mean, I
don't care
don't know
who
if
you
any other
got.
team, any other situations. If I don't know.
You don't have somebody coaching another team that's coaching your bowl game. You don't do that, especially in transfer times.
You don't know if your coach is going to head out or not, and you can just continue to let him coach.
If he's heading out, he already signed it. Syracuse.
Yeah, if he's already signed,
He's already on staff at Syracuse.
I know my situation. You're saying it as a definite, and that's why I'm such a good devil's advocate because y'all say certainty, and it's like you can't say
He had
that with
already signed.
certainty.
He was
I
already
know.
on
I
staff
agree.
at Syracuse.
I think it was a dumb move, but it happens. That's like it happens all the time. Whenever
No,
your
it
head coach.
doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Okay. All right.
If you
You're
sign it,
right. It has
it's-
happened 0 times. People listening, 0 times.
let's talk about it. Okay, Rusty. Okay, Rusty, the coach. Has it ever happened where somebody else has signed at a different school and then coached their old school after the fact?
All the time.
Thank you.
Head coach.
It happens.
Head coach.
He wasn't.
He was an interim. He was an interim.
He wasn't like a
interim
line
head
coach.
coach.
He was
Interim.
It was
That's what I just
interim.
said. He wasn't the head coach.
Well, he was
No,
the
no,
interim
it's
head coach,
stupid.
so.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree
stupid.
that it's dumb.
It's
but
dumb,
it happens.
but it happens.
I don't know why we're arguing.
Look, you're gonna have
Not that it
schools
already
out there.
signed?
Yeah, I mean, they're just
Yeah.
that's the way it works.
I don't.
Man, it's so good to have some balance in this room. Jeez.
No, look, people do dumb stuff all the time.
Oh, sure.
But does it deter them from doing dumb stuff? No, they're
That's
still
why I
going to
have
do dumb
job
stuff.
security.
You
I have
know?
job security because of it.
I will say
So does
this,
the police department.
I have
Exactly.
seen position coaches do this.
Yes.
But I haven't seen interim head coaches.
No, I don't know if I've seen an interim head coach,
That's
but
what he's
I've
saying,
seen
though,
other
too.
coaches, and they're just as influential
Correct.
as
No, I
head
agree with
coaches.
that,
yeah.
So
But he is recruiting an A&M kid to Syracuse.
Yeah.
Fadil Diggs,
Yeah, took
one
him-
of the
took him
defensive.
with him.
I mean,
That's
if they
what I'm
want to
saying.
go,
So it's kind of
go.
funny that they still have him
You
around,
know?
even though he's already
You know
took
what I
a
mean?
player from A&M.
Oh, that happens too. Players follow coaches.
Oh,
anyway.
yeah,
It's
for
not-
sure.
If you want to go, go. It ain't the big
Bye.
deal. Bye. I mean, it's like the Dr. Pepper commercial. I'm not letting my Dr. Pepper go. Bye.
And I haven't
That's a
checked.
funny commercial, by the way.
Yeah.
I haven't checked in a couple of days, but Evan Stewart hadn't been picked up.
He's going to stay. He's staying.
I don't.
Most likely.
I'm just saying
It's all the money.
kind of
thing.
got
It was an
hard thing done on me because Evan was leaving, and then he hadn't gone anywhere because I think people know that he's kind of a problem child.
Well,
Yeah.
he's trying to get NIL leverage.
Well, I understand that, and
We all know
brilliant.
that.
It's a great business move.
Until it doesn't
but
work.
people are calling his bluff because he ain't
We'll
going
see
to.
him at
work.
Georgia Tech next year.
But would you want to do what Sark does?
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, I
dude?
mean,
That'd be
what
so
about
funny.
Wouldn't you want to do what Sark does and say, if you get in the portal, you're gone. You're not coming back. You're not coming back to Texas outside of the playoff because we have
Yeah.
special circumstances there. But let's say we finish bad and you want to go portal, you're not coming back to Texas though.
I mean,
He said,
I
he
agree
said,
with
I'm not
it.
playing that game. He
I
said,
agree
I'm not
with
playing
it,
that
but
game.
from like a business side of it, like if that's better than what I can get, I'll take the better.
Oh yeah, the
kid.
player can take that risk. But I'm saying as if you're
You're the team.
a representative of that school,
For instance-
and that player does that, he will.
Oh yeah, that just popped up.
What in the world?
Steve Carroll's out with the Seahawks.
There's
What
no
in the
way.
world?
Pete Carroll.
Yeah,
What? Why?
they said he's going to stay on with the team in a certain capacity,
Is he
but it hadn't been
retired? Is he
defined yet.
retiring?
That's the only thing I can
He's
think
like
of.
gotta be.
78 though. He's 78 years old.
No.
He's
Yeah.
awesome though.
Yeah.
I mean, Geno Smith, he's a good quarterback, but
Yeah,
I mean,
top level. Yeah,
he made him look good.
Quarterback whisperer.
Are we going to
Yeah.
transition to NFL? I guess now.
Yeah.
Sorry, it
72.
just popped
72.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Stuff on my
82.
phone.
No, 82.
Well, it's a 78. 78.
Yeah, it just popped up on my iPad.
70
from
70 is the
ESPN.
new 50.
Amen.
I've got an aunt that
I
looks
feel
55 and she's like 74. So
Hey, you do live longer though with all this medicine. and
Adrenochrome.
yeah, you know, with the coronavirus,
Adrenochrome.
All right, so
Hey, we got to give props to our fantasy Super Bowl champion,
everything. We're doing that first.
Roland Davis.
yeah, we'll do that first.
It's on the list first. That's what
Yeah.
I know about the list.
Very first annual Church Guys fantasy football with 37 people.
Way to go,
Got
Roland.
lucky, man. Got lucky. Good job.
Roland came all the way from the bottom.
Didn't you have the best record though?
no.
I think Cody did.
Cody had the best record. Yeah.
I was Britland was 3. I was 4.
Yeah. I don't have it. I don't have it pulled up, but like, what was it, like an 8 and 11 in the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Yes,
You didn't get last?
it was 8 and
That's what I was
11.
saying. I didn't get last place. I won all of my playoff games.
There you go.
Yeah,
I lost all my playoff games.
I ended up getting third.
You dumped all your players though.
I wasn't any playoff.
Barneyville didn't even play like normal.
I ended up getting 5th.
Good.
I wasn't in the playoffs.
Yeah, you got a place.
I wasn't
You
in the
put that
playoffs.
that last game. That last game. Oh, yeah, you were in the last place game. Did you
was I?
lose that?
I didn't
Yes.
even look. I
That's
was,
because he dumped all his players.
How exciting.
We're
Was it?
gonna
Look
go
it up.
ahead and get you that jumpsuit.
Oh, yes. I love it.
Winner,
I
winner,
will say,
chicken
though,
dinner.
to his
Yeah,
defense, he dumped
buddy.
all his players.
Yeah,
after
he did dump.
said, I'm not in the playoffs, but you should have done it.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, I lied. I got 8th place. I didn't get 5th place. My app didn't update for some reason.
Cheater.
okay, second of all,
Michigan.
this is the most horrible app. NFL has the most horrible
Yeah, we-
fantasy football app.
We ain't doing that anymore.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
20th.
20th place. We'll go ahead and get you your jumpsuit.
Out of how
Big old loser over the front. You got to wear it to church while you preaching out there. You got to wear it.
out of how many?
Out of
Out of
20.
20.
20 out of 20.
There you go. Exactly.
I saw.
Why? Wait, what did I draft?
Hang on, wait a second.
What did I draft?
It was 20 and I didn't get last place. So
I
that ain't no
drafted-
excuse.
I drafted 19 out of 20.
Yeah, but actually, to me, the bottom was better
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you were
Back
able
to
to pick
back,
up
back to
2
back.
top tier guys.
I didn't-
Were you
there ain't
present?
no way top
Were you
of that.
here?
Yeah, we had a draft party that
You
night.
know,
See, mine was auto draft.
you do-
I got a kicker. CD Lamore.
CD Lamb was available until the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Let's just put that in perspective.
Roll and pick him up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3rd
That
round.
was the best pickup of all year.
Like, he
doubt.
killed everybody.
Yep.
50 points away.
Yeah, because that was I remember that because that was the pick that Roland had before me, and I was like, please don't see CD, please
My
don't
two
see CD, and
guys-
then he
And
drafted him. I was like,
grabbed
dang
him.
it!
2 of my receivers got hurt the first week.
Yeah, there was a lot of that though.
That's why a 20-man league's not going to work.
Over here.
Don't tell me y'all's
Yeah,
excuses.
traded you Aaron
I don't wanna hear it.
Rodgers, and boom.
And then Herbert breaks his hand halfway through the season.
No, I lost Kirk Cousins. He went down.
Yeah.
What do
I
you
mean,
do? And there ain't nobody left because everybody's
doesn't
got
have
them.
to
Tell me about it.
Yeah, because we played with the QB flex.
Yeah.
Because we thought it would help, which it did. It helped some people.
Oh, it helped me.
It didn't help. Yo, yeah, Joe
Flacco.
What a man.
So the top 3 were Roland with you win some, Winston, you lose some, Bernieville, and then our very own Favre from Ordinary in 3rd.
Yeah.
So yeah, next year we will not be doing a 20-man league.
No.
I kind of like the
Reaper.
the 12-man Reaper league. We'll figure that out. That'll be fun.
But hey, what if we have a lot of listeners? Okay.
We have 2
And we
leagues,
have
3
like
leagues.
50 teams that want to play. Let's have,
We'll have multiple leagues.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just different
all-
leagues.
it's
So we'll
okay.
make it happen.
Then everybody's going to manage one league.
I mean, I'm man. I can do it. I already played in
Roland,
7.
yeah.
I won
Holy
3
cow.
championships. So
People do
I
that.
play in a lot of fantasy football stuff.
Not me. One's enough.
Just not NFL. I'm an ESPN guy.
Yeah. This was the only reason I did NFL is ESPN was,
I think
was doing
Crystal's
stuff.
glad it's over. She said they were going to get a divorce. Roland is there all over.
Oh, he put in more work on that than
did.
all of us
That's why I
combined.
won
Heck
it.
yeah, he did.
Oh, yeah, he did. He kept asking for prayer. I said, I ain't praying for that. He did. He said, pray for our fantasy too. I said, what are you talking about, man? I said, God cares about stuff, but that ain't real. That's fantasy.
We had to get onto him a couple times in Wednesday night
was like, all right,
because we're
Roland.
like, hey, bro, you got to put that away. He's like, Russ, look at this trade.
He's over there trying to.
Last one being prior to the lesson.
Yeah.
He was over there evaluating trade numbers.
And I'm like, bro, get that away from me.
To all of our fantasy
You're gonna get us in
listeners,
trouble.
What is the website?
Oh, what?
Roto Trader?
Roto Trader.
Roto Trader.
Yeah, Roto Trader.
That'll help you out. That's a little
Roto
plug
Rooter?
right there.
Yeah.
Roto Rooter.
That's the name. And away goes football down the drain.
And then you could also, there's another one that you compare the players to see which
Yeah.
one to start.
Cowboys, though. Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers.
Hey, before that,
Hey, DJ.
let's go back to a high intensive conversation we had during the Longhorn watch party.
Oh, my word. Let's see.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, it's
Here
a great
we
talking
go.
point.
Clip? You want me to pull up the clip of the video
Yeah,
of the?
yeah. No, seriously, pull it up. So there were some bad calls at the end of the game. Definitely don't deny the tripping call was bad.
Oh, the Cowboy game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's talking about the 2-point conversion.
He's still bringing it up.
What is that not what we're supposed to talk about on a sports podcast? Excuse me, Queen Latifah.
Hey, you know
So
what?
on the game, there were some bad calls. Doesn't mean that it let me just get into the tripping, okay? So the tripping call, as a side judge, you see a leg stick out. It didn't trip, didn't make any contact, but you see a leg sticking out. I can see how it can be confusing of whose leg it belongs to. I get it. But if you look at
Blue
Aiden
pants versus
Hutchinson
silver pants.
of why he was even turned around in the first place, going sideways and tripping, it's probably because there was a hand on his back because they were turning him and holding him to keep him from doing it. So even if that did go to the right way and then he called holding, it should have been a replay, right? So I kind of like null that one. But then you go to the terrible
Quentin, what's the
conversion.
guy on Paul Feinbaum that nobody listens to?
There's a lot of people like
The guy that looks like a Charles Manson picture?
Man.
I-Man. That's Brett. We're going to rename Brett I-Man.
I'll take it.
man.
Sounds like a smart guy.
Paul Feinbaum. Yeah, exactly.
So then on the 2-point conversion, I know we had a conversation about checking in and all that kind of stuff. One of the things I brought up is you can go over there and have as many as you want report. It doesn't matter. That's strategy. It's a wall. As long as the one guy is telling them, I'm declaring. And that's what they had.
Yeah.
They had 68, they had 50-something, and then 70 ran in. It's called
And did
strategy.
this, which is the
It does-
signal.
70
This
came
is the
in and did
signal,
this.
And you can't do that.
That
That's the
is
signal.
the signal.
70 came in from the sidelines.
It don't matter. He
And
did this, dude.
He did.
Y'all ready?
He was trying to trick him,
Okay,
and he
so
didn't.
70
He didn't
came
get away
in.
with it.
Yes, it's called strategy.
No.
That's not strategy.
You
That's
do
cheating.
this.
Heavens, dude. Okay.
You do this. The ref's going to go, oh, you're the one that we want.
And you can verbally say it too. It's in the rules, bro. Look it up before
know
you
you
sit here
can
and
do it.
say it's not happening.
I'm-
Because you have 68, and then he's coming in off the sidelines,
I
and the
hear
ref
what
is
you're
turning
saying.
off. The ref is turning away and running before 70 even got to the huddle that they were having.
Because as he's running to the huddle, he's doing this. Because he's doing that.
68 is declaring verbally to the referee. The referee got confused and called 70 instead of 68 because he went over. You can hear him saying 70. You can hear him stutter it.
And then
you know
here
what
it
I mean?
is. And then here it is. What do you say on the loudspeaker?
That's what I'm saying. 70. He stuttered the 70
Because
number
70
because he
did
couldn't
this.
remember. Because 70 had already checked in several times. And before the game, I know this is education, you go over it with the referees when you have plays like this. And they specifically drew this play out with 68 catching the ball for a 2-point conversion.
But if he says
this was already
68
declared before the game even
he
happened,
says
and
68
reported to the ref before
If he
70 even got to the huddle.
If he
it
says
was a
68,
terrible play.
the defense covers him and it's down.
That's the problem.
What? No, hang on.
They
have
called
to
out.
hear it.
They
have
called
to hear
out
it.
70 was eligible, not 68.
If he calls out 68,
So as the defense, you hear 70 is
covers.
eligible, not 68. You're
If
not
you hear
covering
it.
68.
If you hear it.
It doesn't matter. That's still the ref
It
said
does matter
70.
if you don't hear it all because you're in the end zone at a hyped up game pivotal moment.
You can hear it
have
on the
stands
TV.
He
going
calls
crazy.
70
It doesn't
eligible.
mean you can hear it with a helmet on. Like when you're on the field and you're
The
trying to
mic-
make
coaches hear
adjustments.
it?
The mic,
Did the
the
coaches hear
mic,
it?
the mic.
No, they didn't, or he would have corrected them.
No, our coaches.
Well, if they heard it, then the other coach, Dan Campbell, could have heard it and corrected it too.
That's what I'm saying. If our
It goes
coaches
both
heard
ways,
it,
Craig.
our coaches heard it and covered 70.
And
No,
let's
they
let's
didn't.
not
They didn't have
mention
enough time. That's why strategy is.
they got two
let
more
them hear it
times
so that they can
to score.
correct in time.
They had 2 more times to score and they still didn't. So let's get over it.
And golf
It doesn't matter if
golf
it's 2
threw
more
a
times.
bad
I'm saying it
pass
was
at
a
his
terrible
feet to a
call.
wide open receiver.
Terrible call. That was so bad.
Play this.
Actually, in that game.
Is it in?
Okay, everybody. Here's one that's a
Credit
doozy.
ESPN.
We told you about the play last night that everybody's talking about, but there was actually in that game a missed call that led to the
Talking about
higher
the tripping.
profile missed call that's going to cast a light on the player.
He's gonna talk about
Look at
it.
him. Look at his hands on his back.
Look
at his hands on his back.
Yeah.
He didn't make a connection.
It doesn't matter.
I don't know why they called the tripping on the wrong team. Look at see.
He tried to trip.
His hand is on the back. So if you want to get like justification on it, look at his hand.
Listen to
He's
this, though.
completely wrapped him up
But you
trying
don't
to tackle
call
him.
tripping. You don't call tripping the first down.
Oh, he did.
Officiating.
So you can.
Controversy. So in a season where the officials have come under
Exactly.
intense scrutiny, this is going to be the one that is a tipping point. Right
And-
here. They screwed up the end of the game. They screwed up that play. They cost me 11.5 points in my fantasy.
See, there you go. That's what I was about to say. He's got a personal vendetta about it. But on top of it, you can hit pause because they're just going to talk. Because after this, they even bring up some other stuff about the 2-point conversion later about how that was a
Can't
bad play
find
too.
the.
But they even said that crew cannot participate in any more games.
Sure they did.
They're done. Because it was
because they
bad
missed
calls.
a tripping call.
It wasn't just the tripping
Yeah,
call,
it was.
Craig. It was the 2-point conversion call.
It wasn't just that. There were previous
before.
games that they've missed stuff
Yes,
on.
it
It's
was-
not just a culmination of one game. It's a culmination of
agree with
multiple games.
It was all the quarters in that game and the ones before.
But we can't agree that officiating all year
But
has been terrible.
you can't point out that and not point out that. There's a bunch of bad calls that were made. The game ended the way the game ended.
Like,
But none of them was a game-winning play until that.
That would have sealed the game right there.
Yeah.
If they wouldn't have
That
called
would've-
that back.
Yeah.
That would have ran the clock out. The game would have been
No,
over.
they would have ran the
No
clock out,
touchdown for the Lions.
Yeah, no touchdown for the Lions. The
ball
game's
back. No ball
over.
back.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
game's over.
That's
at
what
that
I'm
point.
saying.
If they didn't call anything else in that, because
So-
the reason he tripped, the reason that he did that was because
Here
his hand was.
goes. Here goes my theory. You
His
ready?
legs,
Oh my
his
God.
legs stuck out.
No, he turned
every
him because he
play-
had his hand on his back.
But his legs stuck out.
Every
Correct.
play.
He stuck his leg out.
Should be reviewable.
Doesn't matter. He still
Every play
stuck
should be
his
reviewed.
leg
It
out.
doesn't matter. He stuck his leg out.
Yeah.
because it was held. You can say that.
That's what
about
they
any
called.
point.
They called the tripping because he
Right.
stuck his leg out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they called tripping on Dallas.
Even
so-
though nobody
Yeah.
got tripped.
They didn't call it
they
tripping
called
on Lions.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes no sense why they would call it against
Because
Cowboys. It
nobody
doesn't.
got tripped.
I agree. I'm saying it's a bad call, but at the same time, he got turned sideways for a reason
I
because
mean,
it was
the-
a bad
the
hold.
spread-
You can call
was
holding-
covered.
Brett, you can call holding on every
Single play.
in the
I
NFL.
know.
So
But-
this doesn't matter.
This
But we're
Yeah.
not talking about every play. We're talking about this one.
Which
and
is
if
why
you're
they
sitting here
shouldn't-
saying that
they
he
didn't
shouldn't have
call
stuck
it.
his leg out for tripping, he
Yes.
shouldn't have held either.
No, they
You
shouldn't
can't
have
have your cake
called.
and eat it, bro.
They shouldn't have called tripping.
I 100% agree.
What they're saying
Every
is,
play in the
should've called
NFL
holding.
should be reviewable.
They should have
Every
called
flag should be
holding.
reviewable.
but they should have called holding, but they didn't call holding. They called tripping on Dallas.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And since they called tripping, they couldn't call holding.
Get ready for
They're-
AI
really-
refs.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Oh, yeah.
They could call holding
Which is-
though on
which is
every play
worse.
though too. I will say
Yeah.
they could call it holding
I
on the
agree.
Lions every
Then where the
play
filters
I agree.
as well.
But we're what
Because
if
every
all this
play
stuff.
is-
They'll get rid of the
If we're-
human
this
prospect,
is
and
the
then we'll be
danger.
playing with robots.
This is the danger in what ifing games.
But let's be
Yeah.
honest about the Lions. It's not like they didn't have any chances after that as well to not convert.
Strategically, as a coach, you've lost surprise. He could have kicked the extra point, tied it.
He
But the
should
guy was
have.
wide open.
He could have.
and he would have scored a touchdown if Goff would have thrown it better.
He could have gave me a chance to win my
absolutely.
fantasy
It was
football
still in their
game
hands,
too.
just like it was in Texas.
That's what I wanted.
But once you score and you get that victory, and then they pull it away from you, now you're like,
They didn't pull it away
it
from you.
completely, it completely changes
They
the
didn't
whole
pull away from you.
dynamics.
If you play it straight up and don't try to deceive, you're cool.
Okay, then tell every team ever not to have any strategy.
No.
What are you talking about? Don't deceive. That's where there's all kinds of deception
Here's
in
the
games.
thing. No, you know what sin?
You
you said-
package defensive
I
coverage is
understand
different
that.
than
I understand what you're
deceive.
saying, but you can't come in signaling one thing.
He wasn't this.
70 did.
Yes, he did.
He wasn't this
He was.
flagrant about it. No,
He,
pull it up.
he,
Come
he
on,
did
pull it
go.
up.
He did go
Pull it up.
across his chest.
He probably was. He could have.
I'm gonna pull it up here.
Could he have been adjusting?
What do I type in?
Shoulder pass.
No.
Could he
Line
have been
reporting?
He's not playing.
falsely doing it? Could he have been adjusting a jersey? Because he wasn't even close to the
I
referee.
mean, that's the reason
and
why
the
they called
referee was talking to
70
68.
eligible.
No.
The referee was talking to 68. He wasn't even talking to 70.
Because he signaled.
He was looking at 68, and the guy beside
Because
him,
he signaled.
70's coming. He wasn't even looking at him, Craig. He's coming from this direction. He's looking at 68, and the other guy, I forgot his number, 58 or something.
Watch the video.
Is there something?
Can we talk about this was a 2-point conversion as well?
Oh, that's why they won, and then took it away. But I will say, I'm glad the Cowboys won. I'm excited about it.
Doesn't sound like it. I'm just kidding.
Here we go. Goff just told him, "Hey, go check in." I'm checking in. Look at him talking. Where's your flagrant wipe in the chest? Nowhere. There's no flagrant wipe in the chest. He already turned and left the group.
Right there.
When the ref
Did you
is
see it?
Okay, go back to when the ref is already saying that he's eligible. Look at that. There's no ref around him. What are you talking about right there? He already declared it 68 before. The ref is telling him right now that 70 declared it. He wasn't even part of the group. Uh-oh, evidence hurts. That's what happens when you argue and you don't listen.
I'm not in this
See,
debate
look,
because
there's
I don't
50
know this
whatever
rule.
beside him. He's just automatically looking over here and pointing at him, and 68's telling him.
I don't know this rule, so I'm not in this argument here. Surprisingly, because me and Brett argue all the time, but I'm not in it. So I actually
Sorry,
know
I'm
how
still
y'all-
with the lock right now.
I actually know how y'all feel. It feels nice being
Yeah.
not just being an observer.
I just like how silent it went because now y'all are like, oh
No.
man, Brett kind of
They
pays attention to
were-
details.
Let's turn it down a little bit though.
Oh, here, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. So what is 68 trying to do here?
Telling the referee he's declaring because Goff just told him, go check in. He just pulled him by the jerseys and said, go check in for eligibility.
Basically,
The
so
other
he can be
guy
a
on
receiver.
top is coming for strategy. 70's coming in because he's already checked in as eligible receiver 2 to 3 times earlier in the game. So he's coming in as strategy. It's distraction.
So why are they pointing at him?
Pointing at what?
Why did the ref point at him?
I don't
At
know.
70.
Because he's checked in 2 to 3 times before.
Yeah, because they tried to deceive and
Yes,
ended up
that's called sports and strategy.
it backfired on them because they deceived the refs.
No.
The refs didn't know what was going on. They confused them.
No, they jumped the gun and they called the wrong number, and then they
called 70.
Because y'all also said he was covered by a receiver. He wasn't covered by a receiver.
Oh, I haven't looked
was
at
open.
that yet.
Let's see here.
Can we get a full?
I don't know. I don't think there you go.
On the hip.
That's not covered.
He's on the hip.
Yeah, all you got to be is on the hip.
I was argued about that too, that he was covered up. He wasn't. He's on the hip.
No, that's off the line.
That's what I'm saying. That I'm
This
glad
is
the
on the
Cowboys
line,
won.
right? This is on the line right here.
The ball's the line. He's on his hip.
But is he technically on the line or no?
Yeah, he's on the
yes.
line.
And he is off the line.
Correct. That's why
He's
on
in the backfield.
Yes.
I agree with that.
So that's why I'm saying that I didn't like that call. Am I glad the Cowboys won? Absolutely. I hope Dak Prescott wins a championship, even though I don't like him as
Doubt
a
it.
quarterback.
You're a
I'm
liar.
just saying, it is a. You can call me that. It's fine. I
No,
don't care.
but you've talked
matter.
trash about Dak all year. You're a liar. You don't want him to win. You're a Stephen A. Smith. That's what you are when it comes to Dak. You don't like him.
Okay, come in. All right, police crew, come in after the work's done. I've always been a Cowboys fan. It would make my great grandmother so much. I can imagine her smiling so big if we won. I hope we make. I hope Craig's right about making it to the NFC Championship. But I don't.
So what is he
a
supposed to do
rematch
here?
doing Lions?
68.
Oh, dude, that's going to be
Both home games,
intensified.
both home games.
We won't play the Lions. They're going to
Both
lose.
We're
games.
stuck
You
on
think
this
they'll lose?
controversy. What is he supposed to do?
68 is checking in as an eligible receiver.
What does he have? Does he have to do some kind of motion?
He can
or what?
verbally
Verbally.
report.
You can do both.
Or you can swipe. There's no chest swiping. He's already left the huddle because he pointed at 70 saying, oh, you checked in before. I'm going to do you.
You know what happened?
Instead of
I'm gonna tell you
listening to
what happened.
68.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. 68 checked in. The ref turned his back and watched 70. They like switch spots here. Look. So then 70 is right there. So he thinks. Well, I told my mom is this. I said the ref turned his back, and this guy was 68 was standing by this guy. I don't know his number. But
It looks like 50.
Yeah, I think it's 58.
68 was standing by this guy. So when you turn around, you're like, oh, he didn't probably look at number. He just looked at the guy that was standing by him.
He was
And then-
right in front of him. There's no,
but he
excuse
wasn't looking
as
at
a
the number.
professional referee.
No, I understand that. I'm saying 60. He probably. I bet you he was just glancing, and he said, "Oh, it's the guy who was standing by this guy."
Probably. Absolutely.
So then he said, "Okay, it's this guy, not
he made
this
a
guy."
boo-boo.
Because look. That, I mean, the refs do that. Sadly,
Dude, I would say they all look the same because they're 7
but
foot tall and
what I'm
500
saying.
pounds.
I'm saying he didn't look at the number. There's no
Right.
way he looked at the number because look, like he's already getting covered up right here.
Well, right before it, you can see his number.
And what the ref should have done is just like stop and say, all right,
Yes.
this is a number.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is this is what happened
Yes.
most likely is he just turned around and then watch, they switched places. And so
But
it's,
he's not looking at him when he swapped places. He's already got his back turned. He's going over the white hat's going over the
yes,
defense.
that's what I'm
and
saying.
telling
The
him
ref
right
didn't
now.
see him switch places, so he doesn't know they switched places, but they swapped places because this 68.
Are you talking about how they line up on the
60
line?
No,
Yeah.
no, look at them talking right here. 68 is by 58. That's 58.
And then when the play starts, 68's on the other end of the
Oh, yeah,
line.
but that doesn't matter.
No,
because
but they're
58's
walking.
covered. 58 covers 70, so it automatically makes him ineligible. I believe. Play it a little bit more.
No, what I'm saying is this. So the ref thinks he talked to this guy because they switched, like, if that makes sense, like.
But he's not looking at him, so it
No,
doesn't
but he
matter what
was
they do
earlier.
behind him.
He, didn't
was.
go down, he might not go down and make the
You
announcement.
don't get what I'm saying,
immediately.
though. See, they switched places.
What-
that
leave-
doesn't-
leave
he's
it
not
playing.
looking at him when
Leave
he
it playing.
switched.
Leave it playing. Don't stop. What happens here? What happens here?
The referee went over
They
and
didn't
told
show the
him.
whole play. No, they didn't show the whole play. We didn't see the whole play.
Whenever the
They didn't
referee
show the
was
whole
over
play.
there talking to the defense, that's him saying number 70's checking in, and he wasn't even in the huddle.
No, yeah. No, I agree with you. What I'm saying is this guy in his
That felt so
mind.
good. Hey, can I have like a personal recording?
I
of
agree
that?
with you.
Yes.
What's up?
You need the
He
assurance?
said, "I agree with you." I just never hear that.
I'm gonna cut that out and put that on
What
the
I'm
board so I can
saying
hit a button.
Oh no,
This
after watching
This
it.
ref, Whitehat, did not look at the
Yes.
number. He just saw this guy associated with this guy. And he was like, this lineman right here checked in. But this guy, number 70, comes over,
we don't show the end of the clip.
swaps it in terms of Okay, now this
Yeah, but
guy's
that-
by this guy.
Does he turn back and
But
look
what
at
is
what
it?
I want to know is
No.
when he comes up here to make an announcement, does he turn back and look?
No,
He's
he
already
doesn't look.
declared it.
He's looking away. So he
But
doesn't
again,
know.
here's the thing again. He said 70.
So this guy,
Exactly, that's all I'm saying.
So now this guy
He
thinks
made a
he talked to
mistake.
this guy.
They made a
but he didn't
mistake.
talk to
We're
that
not
guy.
saying they didn't make a mistake.
Whatever. This whole entire suspension
No,
was
no,
all saying that he didn't make a mistake.
That
Saying
night,
that was the worst
No.
pivotal game
That
winning goal
night.
of the game.
that night at the game that we were watching.
Everybody
Yes,
said-
yes,
They
we
called
didn't
70.
we didn't kind of, but we heard 70.
Everybody heard 70.
That means it's 70.
It doesn't matter what
I
you
don't
say.
care if you
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if
I was saying it was a bad play, and you're like,
Oh.
no, it was a tripping play. I'm like, that was a bad play.
Well, they were both bad
Yeah, they're
plays.
both
I
bad
agree.
plays.
Both bad plays.
I
But
agree.
that's been the NFL all year.
But we're still talking about what ifs right here. What if the ref did it right, but they didn't do it right?
No,
But they got a do over, but they still did not convert.
they still didn't
Wait,
score.
But also,
strategically, you
if the
can't
ref-
go back and do that.
But again, we're talking about what if still.
No,
Which
you
is
can't
not
go.
fair.
But
That's
you can't
fair.
go forward because then you go. Okay, they call 68, and then they cover them.
Well, they backed up, and then we got a penalty, and they came back forward. They had a chance at the same one. So you could say
But
it's
then
all
we're talking
about
about-
surprise or
We're still
whatever.
talking about
But
what ifs, and we give that. What if the ref would have called it not tripping? You know,
Yeah.
so again, there's all these what ifs.
There's a bunch of
Lions had plenty of
plays.
chances. Let's not say that.
But also,
Lions
let's
had
back up again.
chances.
Let's back up again. All the way, like we always say, don't put it in the ref's hands.
Yep, absolutely.
no,
Score more.
Or just kick a field goal and go to overtime.
I mean, there's that. Yeah.
Basketball. It's like basketball. It's like baseball. And the baseball, here's what drives me nuts about professional baseball. You hear it since you're pee-wee. 2 strikes, and it's close. What do?
Swing away.
no, foul the ball off.
But you swing
what I-
at it.
that's-
But you swing at it.
Yeah.
You don't sit there and watch it go in.
It's not the same kind of swing. I teach us how to
But I mean,
foul the ball
but what
off.
I'm saying is you don't put that in the ref's ump's hand.
No.
To make that call ball or strike.
No,
You know, it's a ball. I know it's a ball. I know it's a ball. I don't care if it's 6 inches off the plate and the ref calls it. Ump calls it a strike. It's a strike.
well, I mean that's the whole
Don't
point of
put it
sports.
in the refs'
Keep an
hands.
eye on
Look
that
at
kind of
Texas and
stuff.
Washington was that last play kind of pass interference? I would say kind of, but you're not. Don't expect that call.
They're not going to call it.
Well, I'm saying
No,
never
not
gonna
with
call.
1 second on the clock. They're not
No,
going to call
so
it.
that's why you don't
They're
call that
never
play.
going to call it.
Viewers puts the ball in a better spot. We score. So
Oh yeah.
But that's pass though. So
I
that's what
believe
it
it's
is.
apples and oranges because that was declared before the game even happened.
Yeah.
It was talked about. It was drew on the board. It was declared before the game even happened that this is a 2-point. This is one of our 2-point conversion plays, and this is what we're going to do. And the referee messed up.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
He
yeah.
messed up. That's not
what
the
I was
Cowboys'
getting
fault
at.
though.
Well, the Cowboys' fault was letting them get down on the field because the defense didn't stop them. So if we're going back to what if, well, the Cowboys should have stopped them before. I'm glad that they didn't.
Should have
make
got the tripping call.
Shouldn't have got the triple.
Well, they
ball.
shouldn't have had it as close. They should have made a touchdown on every pass and
Well,
every
that-
run.
isn't that
The
the
Lions
truth?
just
I mean, the Lions don't have a very good defense. How do we only score 21
I think
points?
they've been playing pretty fair,
Exactly.
dude. I think they played real well.
They've been
all
getting
year.
gutted in the secondary.
Yeah, they have.
So
I mean, potentially
the
look at
Rams-
the Cowboys whenever
the Rams are about to beat them. That's what I'm saying.
Rams
We're not
calling
going to.
it
Yeah,
now?
the Rams. Oh yeah, I'm calling
right.
it.
So let's-
seen a
Go over
couple
the
people
schedule.
project the
Yeah,
Rams.
let's get on a playoff schedule.
Let's get into it now. So we're going to get into the playoff schedule. So we'll
Browns
start.
and the Texans.
We'll start with the AFC wild card, Browns and the Texans. I think I got the Texans on that one because I like CJ Stroud and I want to see him win this one.
Yes.
I'm a big fan of his.
CJ.
I am too.
Cool.
I like C.J. Stroud, but Joe
Browns.
Flacco's hot, man.
And that defense.
Yeah, that Browns defense.
That
is-
defense.
Only thing is that the Texans. Very
attractive, but I don't know if he's hot.
He's at the Texans.
I got
Yeah.
the Browns.
So I don't know.
I think the Browns would be a better choice, but I'm rooting for the Texans.
Go Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
Do it for us middle-aged 30-year-olds.
right?
40, man. Isn't he 40?
Yeah, he's 40.
No, I thought he was
39?
38.
38, 39.
38.
It's
He
basically
rounds up.
40.
He's my age.
Basically 40.
All right, so then on the other side we got
Well, I appreciate that.
My pleasure.
the Dolphins and the Chiefs.
Dolphins. Easy.
It's going to be 10 degrees.
I'm going with the Chiefs.
Have you seen
It's going to be the Chiefs.
Have you seen all the outcry to have that game moved?
They
To
can't-
Indy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't catch.
It's true. They have
Who?
no offense.
The Chiefs.
Chiefs have
It
no offense.
don't matter. Neither can the Dolphins.
And it's going to be 10 degrees, so they ain't got to worry about
The
it.
gonna be
question
10
is,
degrees.
does the Dolphins get their running back in Mostert, and do they get Waddle back at receiver?
And you're
If you
playing
don't
in
have
a
those pieces, and they're going to lose.
and you're playing in a cold temperature.
No, yeah, but you need a
It's
back.
not,
he set a
it's not
record?
A-Chain.
Oh, A-Chain.
A-Chain.
Oh my gosh, it's making me
We've
so
all said it wrong.
sick. No, it was A-Chain in College Station. Every game he played was A-Chain. And now they're saying A-Chan.
Maybe he said, "This is how you say my name." I just didn't want to.
He might have changed it. Different persona.
Yeah.
I don't want to be associated with that A&M team.
But also the weather's going to be a factor because Miami doesn't play in cold weather.
Yeah. I mean, these are NFL players.
But they're not all from Miami.
Playoffs too. It doesn't kind of,
Yeah.
These are NFL players, though. I mean, they train for this.
Bills and Steelers.
But yeah. So then you move on to.
Bills.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Steelers
It's hard
have
for
good
me to root
defense,
against.
but Bills are going to win.
TJ Watt is out.
Yeah.
By the way.
is he?
Yeah. So
that's over. It's over.
that
It's
game's
over.
over.
And it's funny because I don't really worry about spreads and stuff like that. But when they hadn't announced that he was out, the spread was just about even.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they announced that he's out, they have Buffalo. Buffalo by 10.
Because the Steelers were hanging by a thread.
He's a game changer.
Oh, he absolutely is.
I mean, he's Michael Parsons. That's what he is.
And the sickening part about that, he almost got drafted by the Packers, but we traded our pick to them.
Wow.
It was a smart play.
Go Packers.
Yeah.
Good for TJ Watt.
Speaking of the Packers, so we have another rematch of the Cowboys and the Packers.
Yes, got it.
It's at the Cowboys. It's it.
And as much as it pains me to say, this is not the same Packers team of old, even though Jordan Love has proved me wrong every step of the way this year.
He's gotten better.
Our defense it's not there. We don't have anybody to
You
cover.
made it to the playoffs. Okay, there's something.
Well, they got
Not gonna be enough.
it's not going to be enough. They got hot at the right time.
It's just one game.
Yeah.
Just give me one good defensive game, and you could. I mean, it's Dak Prescott.
That's
I
right.
mean,
Everything up to this point does not matter. You're in this
Yeah.
game. Make it happen. This is all new. You're exactly right. Keith.
So
Hey, record that. Send that to Quinn.
hey man, I need that.
So as much as it pains me to say, I think Dallas is going to handle this one because we just don't have the defense to cover.
Because the Cowboys don't
Receivers.
lose till I get the NFC championship.
We're 16
Well,
and
they're-
0 at home too.
That's when they lose.
The
That's
home
a bad
field
thing,
advantage
though.
has been
That's a good thing, but a bad thing because we know what the Cowboys do with.
They choke in the
Things like
playoffs.
NFC
The
championship.
thing is this: so
Hey, not this year.
I don't think so. I
if
don't
we can
know.
get,
Not this
if
year.
we can get Pollard running well, we're going to win the game.
Yeah.
But if we make our offense one dimensional and rely on Dak, if we have to rely on Dak to
we're
give
all
us a
right.
win,
We're all right.
Well, that is the strength of the Packers that they have been able to kind of stifle down the run. They haven't
That's
stopped
a
it
little
completely, but they have stifled it.
If exactly right, you make Dak panic, he becomes Dak.
yeah.
Not Dak Prescott. He becomes
Michael
Dak.
Penix. Okay.
Yes, exactly. No, that's exactly right.
You make it one dimensional.
Exactly. Then he's not the Heisman anymore.
So then the next one we got is the Lions and the Rams.
That's a scary game for the Lions. I would
And
say.
the spread on this is they have Detroit by 3.
Yeah. No, I got the Rams.
That's 3 because it's a home game.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
You get that 3 points because it's a home
If
game.
you told me before the Cowboys game, I would have said Lions, but the Lions have declined a little bit since that game. It's kind of stunted their momentum.
Yeah.
And Matthew Stafford is playing well. He's playing really well with Cooper Kupp and Nakua.
Yeah, he's got some.
And I think the Lions
Curran
squeak
Williams.
this out.
Yeah.
Curran Williams.
I think the Lions squeak it out, like they always do somehow.
I think after that Cowboys game, the Lions have a chip on their
I was
shoulder.
about to say they're going to have some vigor.
No, they are.
They're going to come out swinging.
are.
Yeah,
But also, this is the
Especially-
first game back for Matthew Stafford since leaving the Lions.
Yeah.
And he's going to have a chip on his shoulder, like, you know.
Oh, that's true. You got something to prove.
But yeah, I think if the Lions can beat the Rams, then it's going to be the Cowboys and the Lions. That's going to be a good rematch.
I'd love it.
That's going to be a slugfest because I don't think the Lions are going to want to have to take it down again and try to.
I don't
Win
think
it at
the
the very
Cowboys
end.
want to take it down.
Yeah, that too.
I would hope that it just be one lopsided victory.
Don't keep it close.
Yep.
Oh, that's
So-
good. I think the Rams are going to blow them out.
You think so?
Yeah, they've won the last 4 games.
Big.
They're actually 7-1 in the last 8 games.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. man.
That's really good.
That doesn't
I mean,
matter.
it
You get
it
to
matters to the
playoffs,
point
it
where
changes.
you get hot at the right time. Then
Man,
you carry
like,
that over.
I
The
remember
one
whenever
loss is to the Ravens.
I remember whenever the Cowboys beat the Giants heavily in one season because I went to both. No, I went to one game and then I went to another one where the Panthers beat them. It doesn't matter. And then they lost to the Giants in the playoffs.
Is this the
first round.
Eli Manning error?
Yeah.
I mean, he tended to
yeah.
do that to everybody.
But I'm saying it doesn't matter. It was postseason. They beat the Cowboys in the season. They lost to them both times. They only won 1 out of 3 times, but that was the time that counted.
Yeah.
So the playoffs is a different animal.
He does.
For some people.
It's all about matchups.
You may have switched my answer there because Matthew Stafford is well in the playoffs.
Oh, he's awesome.
Dude, that's a stud.
Just go back and look at how they've been playing.
I'm going Rams now.
Unless he does, unless he gets
I
hurt.
don't care. I don't care. I'm right or wrong.
He plays good unless he doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about this, Sean McVay is an offensive guru. Sean McVay. And you also have Aaron Donald still on the
That's
defense.
funny.
So
then the final game we got is
Baker Mayfield.
Eagles at the Buccaneers.
Yeah, everybody's picking Tampa Bay. Let's go ahead and get that out. Ain't nobody here picking the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well,
Because
ESPN is.
why? Because Jalen Hurts is Dak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With their defense,
Same stats as Dak last year.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts.
defense is terrible.
Yeah.
it's not the same team.
No.
Baker Mayfield is a completely different quarterback this year.
I've seen a picture of him warming up with a dip can in his pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Don't mess with a man with a dip can in his
Have you
pocket.
seen him on the sideline when he's at towards the end of the fourth quarter? You'll see him over there. He's got a dip.
Their coach is reeling. The Eagles coach, he's reeling.
He reminds me of the kicker off of the replacements. Smokes a cigarette before he goes and kicks the field. Yeah, no, that's what Baker Mayfield reminds me of.
Right.
He's wiry.
Wiry.
It's very up and down.
I'm just glad he's found a team where he can get a rhythm. Because the last few teams he's been on, it hasn't been there.
But he still carried the Browns to playoffs.
I mean, over 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That's pretty
The thing
impressive.
where you're going to get with
Yeah.
Baker is leadership. He's
Yeah.
a good leader. Whether you like him or not,
He's going to
rally the troops.
That's what I was going to say exactly.
He is, though. I mean, hey, got to give him props to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boomer Sooner.
Oh,
So,
he despises us, too.
So gross.
All right, so let's go around and
That's
see
the best team with 1 year quarterbacks ever.
what are our picks for the Super Bowl this year.
Too early.
That's not. You can make a projection.
Ravens.
Ask me in a couple weeks.
Ravens and...
If the playoffs are done, I'll tell you.
49ers.
Right, it's got to be Ravens, don't it?
Ravens and 49ers.
Depends who they run
that's who I
into.
picked.
Yeah.
I have the Ravens and Cowboys. I don't think the 49ers are going to actually make it out.
They've been on a downward trend.
I want to say the Rams are going to end up playing the Cowboys in the NFC Championship.
Wow.
If the Rams win this one, I agree.
Yeah.
And for the record, Rusty has spoke a lot of things into existence
But wait
this
a
year.
second. Wait a second.
And he's
If
been
the
right.
Rams win, we don't play the Rams?
No, we wouldn't play the Rams. They're the lowest seeded team other than the Packers, which we would have to beat the Packers. So they then would go play the 49ers, and then we would get the winner of the other game.
Wow.
Buccaneers?
Yeah.
that
The
ain't
Bucks.
good.
Yeah, but it's at home.
We could take them at home, though.
And all roads would lead through Dallas. And
no,
so
they do anyway.
I don't think we're going to win the Super Bowl, but I think it's going to be the Cowboys or Ravens.
Wow.
If the Rams beat the San Francisco, play at home game, that's crazy. I think it's a crazy shot.
Yeah.
I think there's only one team in the AFC that I'm worried about for the Ravens is the Bills, just because Josh Allen is Josh
Wild
Allen.
card, you never know. You can be
He's
good
re-
Josh Allen or bad Josh
Yeah,
Allen.
exactly. But I mean, he threw 3 interceptions and still came back and won the game this last
Yeah.
week.
Who did they play?
Well, in some of those
They-
interceptions, though, like
Who they
how
play?
he threw it wasn't like he just.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they were
It
punts
was
pretty
chances.
much. Yeah,
right.
they were punts.
That's why whenever we were having the Dak Josh Allen argument at the beginning of
That's a
the
big
season.
difference.
Well, yes,
Context.
because he's using those interceptions as punts sometimes, or he's using deep threats, and Dak just can't do that.
No, he's
Yeah.
got a
He just
terrible
can't do
deep
it.
ball.
Who they beat?
Who?
Bills.
The Bills ended up beating Miami. They knocked
Yeah.
Miami out of the first place in their division and made them go to the Kansas City Chiefs instead of having an easy game
And
in
you're right,
Miami.
Miami's on a downward trend, but I'm picking up the Chiefs are just.
Well, Miami was
dog
like that
water
all
this
year too. They're hot and they're not.
Yeah.
Well, speaking as somebody who had Patrick Mahomes on his fantasy team, it's not the same Patrick Mahomes of
I think
2 and 3 years
It's just
ago.
I wanted him.
He doesn't have the supporting cast.
Yeah, he doesn't. And his offensive line is terrible.
He had one good receiver all year, and that was Rice, and he's a rookie.
He's tried to carry them,
Yeah.
but they've been off at their hands and they've dropped.
Right.
They had probably more drops I've seen any professional team have drops
If you
in
look-
a long time.
If you look at his stats, I think I think it was Troy Aikman's. At Patrick Mahomes' worst year was whenever Troy Aikman got like MVP.
Yeah.
It's the same numbers. and it's his down year. So he still has good numbers.
It's a different
despite-
product.
Different league, different league.
It's a different
I'm
product.
just saying number wise.
I know, but it's a different league because you're not throwing.
Okay.
Troy Aikman
Yes,
didn't
it
throw.
is.
No, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'm just saying strictly
You're right.
numbers. I'm not
You're
saying
right.
that Troy Aikman wasn't a tough guy.
No,
I take
understand
that
that.
tough guy in this league. It's like Michael Jordan. I'll take
Yeah.
them 10 out of 10 times.
I mean, I don't put Troy Aikman in the top 10 of my quarterbacks. So he's a good quarterback. He was serviceable, but he's not one of the best.
right. No, I'm just saying that like his worst year,
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes' worst year is still as good as
But he's the product of the salary cap.
Yeah.
And because he got a big contract,
Yep.
they have no flexibility
Exactly
to get
right.
anybody else. So that's pretty much how everything works.
Yeah, Kansas City is now in the Green Bay scenario with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, everybody goes through that. Dak, we just gotten lucky because we picked up a CD Lamb.
Yes.
But when we have to pay them, we're going to lose some pieces.
Next year.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah.
We've got some big pieces that we're going to have to decide whether they're going to go or they're going to stay.
Yeah. So
I was just looking at what you were pulling up. I just read
I was
that
going
one.
to pull up a graphic here of the rigged
Oh, yes,
Super Bowl.
the colors.
So
Dude, I love that. I was going to bring
they've
it up.
already pre-planned the colors like before the
Yes.
season, and it's kind of
There it
creepy.
goes.
So there's a guy that talks about the conspiracy theory behind that of every graphic having the color of the teams that are in the Super Bowl. And they put it out before the season.
yeah,
It's pretty interesting.
That's kind of small.
that was my pick anyway. Was 49ers
Look at
and
that
Ravens.
though. That's a little creepy if you ask me.
But
No, look at
Yes
this.
and- I mean, yes
that's the
and
same
no.
color.
That
same
could be
color.
Cowboys and that could
Same
be Kansas
color.
City. I
Same
mean,
color. That's purple, man.
it could be blue.
Yeah, that's purple.
That's
It could be a shade of blue.
No,
But I
you're
mean, let's
colorblind.
talk about it for a
That's
second.
So you're telling me the Eagles, that's a green? Because that's turquoise to
That
me.
right there.
That looks like
Look at
Miami.
this. Look at this. Look at that match of green. That matches the green
That's
on the
that's
eagle.
Miami.
No.
That matches.
No,
the
there's
green.
there's stripes in
they're
there that
forest
match.
green. They're not
matches.
turquoise.
That matches.
Yeah, if you look at the line on the L and then the line through the VII, that's equal green.
This one right there. Look at that compared to that green. That's the same green.
I think it's just awesome.
Can you go? Can you go
love it.
further back than just
I can
those
try.
three?
Hey, I love how he tied a conspiracy corner in with NFL segment this
But
time.
you can't tell
I think
also,
it's
did they
fantastic.
remake some of those to make it conspiracy corner?
Exactly.
Possibly.
Were those
I
the
don't know.
originals?
I mean, that's
I
possible.
don't know. I'm not.
Or
not
were
gonna-
those ones that they came out once they knew the teams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. I
I
want to bring
loved
that
it.
up.
I thought it was great.
But here's the thing too with that is that San Francisco was good. I mean,
Oh,
I figured
yeah.
they were in top
Yes.
shelf this year.
Well, they're playing well with the scripts, you know.
Who else you gonna play in the AFC? There ain't nobody in the AFC to pick besides Baltimore at the beginning of the year.
No.
I didn't even think Baltimore would make it.
No.
I honestly, I didn't know because things change.
Lamar Jackson's been
Dang.
hurt the past 3 years, so
He
we
was
were
due.
thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't think
Lamar
that they'd make it.
Jackson-
Lamar Jackson could hurt.
Lamar Jackson
I mean,
should win MVP this year.
Just
Oh yeah. He's
no,
playing.
I'm a CMC guy on that. Christian McCaffrey is the 49ers.
But
if
if
you
you
take
take-
him off the team, I don't think they're
But if you
that
take Lamar
great.
Jackson away from the Baltimore Ravens,
I still think they're a playoff team if you take
Yeah.
them off because
Their
they play
defense-
really good defense and they run the ball really well.
Their
but
defense
the
is
49ers still have Kittle, Debo.
Doesn't
Ayuk.
matter.
It don't matter if you can't run the ball; they're not open.
In the NFL, the run opens the pass.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
look at us, the Cowboys. Tony Pollard
that's right,
is
us.
he's not the guy.
We're struggling. We're struggling. We're struggling.
It's definitely not
Hanging
the
by
guy.
a prayer.
Exactly.
Because we have a running game.
He's not the guy. He's not
Halfway
him.
there.
All right, what are we talking
We'll
about
be
next?
after Sunday.
gentlemen?
Hey, we need to wrap this up
We-
quick too. All right,
Keep it going.
All right, so we're going into biblical.
Conspiracy corner. You got anything for
I don't-
conspiracy
I don't-
corner?
No,
You gotta
I
go
want
fast.
to have time with biblical topics.
You gotta-
We'll get
we
conspiracy
really don't have time for
corner.
that, honestly.
So-
So, you gotta be fast. This is gonna take a long time.
The biblical topics. We can't mention it.
Well, it's
can-
gonna take a while to unfold it.
We can do part 1 and part 2. We
All
can
right.
resume.
So one of the things that was really cool is Russ, as a new believer, is that or new how would you describe it? I don't know.
I don't know.
How about this?
An awakened believer.
There you go.
Okay. Very
Is
good.
that better?
I like that. No, I think it's it.
Because I was kind of sleep, if you want to say.
He's a woke believer.
How about this? And I'm not down on you because this is how it is. A lot of people make a profession at a young age, but never grow. So
Disciple.
now he's
Milk
a
instead
growing.
of meat.
Now he's a growing.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of the experience of the church. They're supposed to help you grow.
Exactly.
And where I was at, it wasn't helping me grow. It kind of actually took me the other way where, thank goodness for my kids. Yeah. They started coming here, and it's kind of, opened me up to this, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Which is what's awesome. Let me tell you, I'll just encourage everybody. That's how people get to church. Not their kids, but people inviting other people.
Yeah.
It's not just, let's throw up some ads. And that may get one person. Or let's let the preacher do it. They expect me to ask them to come to church. But when other people start asking people to come to church and to sit with them, makes a difference.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. And that's what happened with your kids, because through softball and through school, y'all got hooked up with Jonathan and Haley and Presley and them, and then boom, that's how it happens. It's pretty awesome. They got to come to church camp, and last year at church camp,
we're here, and then Roland and Crystal come.
Same thing.
And we have other family members that I've been like, hey, why don't you just come and hang out? I mean, you've seen a couple of them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
So
that's how it works. And it's the cool thing is you don't. I'm not saying. Here's how I'm saying too, and I've got. It's hard to explain to a lot of people. Is ask them, and then don't ask them for a while.
That's what we do.
And then ask them, and then don't ask them for a while, because you don't want to get old on people at all, because you can be a wart on people. But you just follow the Spirit and let know when to go through that. But be sure and ask them at the same time. And it's our generation. People like out here in our church. People go, "Do you have visitation?" No, we don't have visitation, because people move to the country because they don't want to be messed with.
Yeah,
they done been messed with it wherever else. People come to their door. They expect Jehovah's Witnesses to come to their door. They expect the Mormons to come to their door. And so when you don't want to be that other person to come to their door, but you want to make connections with your neighbors and whatever else along the way, and that's how it works. And so,
hey, if that's your conviction to go door to door, go.
Well,
that's a testament of those guys' faith.
No.
There's other platforms now.
It is.
Yeah.
That's, you go fishing. How do you go fishing?
Yeah.
I mean, you can go fishing with me and not catch nothing, or you can go fishing with
be
someone else that
invited.
knows
I
how to
mean,
do
I
it.
can go fishing on my VR and catch whatever I want. So.
Not have to get wet or
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm not saying don't
Get
go door to
sunburned.
door, but I'm saying you got to do things that work too at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
And be effective, and which is being stewards of our time as well. I'm not saying don't have visitation, because when people come to church, I usually go talk to them, see them, hang out, try to get that connection, or see them at school, or see them around, and that's what makes a difference. So it's pretty awesome to know that's where that y'all are hooked in and growing, and God's doing great things at our church. We got younger families, which makes a huge difference too. We're not a typical country church, and so it's been a blessing to see all of that go. But I appreciate what you're talking about is the learning part of it, because that's what my heart is that we teach people through the scriptures. It is not just, we're a Baptist church because we believe that's the closest thing to the Bible. People get shocked when they say, well, hey, if there's another group of people closer to the Bible than what the Baptists are, I'm going at them, because it's God's word that matters. It's not a tradition or a following or things that matter. It's what the Bible says. And that's what we're going to do, because that's what God left us. He didn't leave us anything except for his word.
Yep.
So that's what we're...
Some cool stats too that I think is really neat that you're a part of is whenever men join the church. Have you ever heard those numbers?
A little bit.
So if, let's see here, the first person, I guess, become a Christian or whatever in the household, there's a 3.5% probability everyone else in the house will follow if it's a kiddo. 17% if it's the mom, and then it's 93%.
It's crazy.
93% that the household will come if it's the father, if it's the man of that, almost like how God designed family. And then to go with that, when both parents attend Bible study, 72% of their children will not only attend then, obviously, because they're going, but after when they're grown. So that is massive statistics, because the statistics on youth, if you are a participator in youth in high school, 8 of 10 don't participate in college.
And let's talk about why.
Freedoms.
No, let's talk about why, though. Dig down deeper. Why is it 80% do if the parents do?
They're taught right. I mean,
because they see it at home.
Yeah.
See it lived out. It's real.
It's not just a Sunday
Yeah.
morning thing. And that's what makes a difference. If it's not just a Sunday morning thing, the Bible becomes real, not just a book of fairy tales or fables or antiquities or whatever else. And so when you see that, hey, well, maybe this stuff is real, then as a kid, you get a chance to test that out for yourself as a kid.
Yeah.
And then you got a lifelong follower. If they see it at home, they see it at church, they see it by friends at school, they see it by the preacher when he's out in town or whoever else out in town, because the Bible is real,
Authentic.
and it's God's word, and it's and its plans and the purposes are real. And so that's where our nation is. They haven't seen it lived out, which is why they think that Christians are bigots. Heard that?
Bigots, hypocrites.
Because we don't,
Calls all
because
kinds of stuff.
because all they're not for a LGBTQI A plus whatever B minus because they think, well, we're haters. No. Y'all heard me say it so many times from the pulpit. We are equal opportunity sin bashers around here.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
If God's not for it, we're against it.
Yeah, that's right.
Amen.
And that's what the problem is all they see is, well, you're just this. No. You don't see what we are.
Yeah.
And the problem is that we all have sin.
Mm-hmm.
We are all flawed people.
Yep.
Everybody's got their own proclivities. Everybody's got their own desires and draws and temptations, and we're all fighting our own battles. And nobody's perfect. Only Jesus was perfect. And we're trying to follow him and trying to do better by following him. And our lives ought to be trying to improve. And so here's the thing. Unfortunately, some people don't live it out. We hear it all the time. I don't go to church because of the hypocrites. Well, okay, there's hypocrites in every venue and every lie.
Everybody is a hypocrite. If
Yeah.
you want to see
Oh,
a
yeah.
hypocrite, look in the mirror.
I mean, there's a
We got sin.
I'm definitely not sanctioning a show that's coming on pretty soon, but I think Brett talked about it. The doctor in Dallas, Dr. Death or whatever.
Oh yeah.
He's a fake. He faked his own medical credentials or whatever. He was a
Yes.
hypocrite. So you're going to stop going to doctors?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
there's so many things. Trust me, you eating food. You going to McDonald's? Ain't real food.
Big slime.
Be like the human meat. that we
Go to Jack in the Box, it's horse meat.
Uh-huh.
Y'all remember that? Y'all are too young for that.
No, I remember that.
Remember
Yeah.
But I love Jack in the Box tacos, man. I lived on McDonald's.
No, they could be horsemen. I'll still eat it. They're so good. Just a sauce.
Now you can get the mini box. for
Yeah.
just 20
Hey, nowadays it'd just be fitting right in.
No, I like the
Works.
monster ones anyway.
Oh, yeah, the
yeah.
big ones, exactly. But I'm saying, so the thing is that people need to see that we're real people. We don't hate people. And is alcoholism a problem? Which we're going to get into in a second if we have time. Alcoholism is a huge problem in America. It's huge. And it's half of football advertisements. It's
Which makes no sense. That they're always these like fit people drinking alcohol, and then you get out there.
please drink responsibly.
Yeah, the Modelo commercials,
Yes.
What is it? Michelob Ultra?
Michelob Ultra. Yeah, the 86 calories or whatever.
Most interesting man in the world.
Hey man, I can lose weight on this.
It's kind of like the guy with the Chick-fil-A diet, right? That ain't gonna work. But that's crazy. But that's what society we're in. We're in a snippet. We're in a standardless society. Aren't we?
Yeah.
Really, we are. I mean, you look around. We're in a standardless society, and this is where it got us. Because what made people, the 50s held us back. Oh, did it really? Did they do everything right in the 50s? No. They had segregation in the 50s. It's wrong. It's wrong. People are people. Everybody
Which we're
everybody
bringing
has
back
a
today.
soul. Yeah. Everybody has a life. And everybody's going to eternity somewhere.
Yes.
And there's no, and we can get into the history of all that stuff that was wrong, that held people back. You can't fix the past. You can make the present better. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say this is not politically charged. Well, yes, it is. But I think we were on a good path until about 12 years ago, 14 years ago. Our country was on a good path. Did we do everything right? No. Were we getting better? think we were. I think that everything was heading a better direction, and we'll talk about that later. Another podcast. I don't have time for that one for sure. But who doesn't like better? Satan doesn't like better. And I'm not saying we were godly by any stretch of imagination. We weren't godly. Greed, hedonism, which is pleasure, all those things were heading and brought us where we are today. But at the same time, some parts of society were better, weren't they? Mm-hmm. And so here in different areas.
Conspiracy theory, but
Yeah,
we won't get into that.
sort of. Okay. It's not a conspiracy if it's real.
Well, I mean, 9/11 changed a lot of stuff for us, so. And I'm talking about government-wise.
But it's before that.
Kennedy. Look at Kennedy. That's tough.
We won't get. Let's not get into those.
Let's get in it, baby.
We don't have till 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Right.
Okay?
All right. So one of the questions you brought up was, what does the Bible say about drinking alcohol? That's
No, he
right?
didn't.
No,
he's saying this.
no. Not like, okay,
He's saying
so
Jesus turned the water to wine.
he in the Chosen, he turned water into wine at a wedding, and we all know wine at a wedding means you're drinking.
It wasn't just in the Chosen.
Is it okay? Is he okay with us drinking a little bit? I'm not saying getting drunk because that.
know what that is.
Yeah.
Okay, great question. First of all, I will say to people that are on the podcast, we all know it here. The Chosen is a great thing. It shows us pictures of what we never would have thought, and gives us venues of things we might not have figured out. But the Bible is where it's at. Okay,
Yes.
It's not the Chosen. Okay, and we understand that. We know we're here at this table. We get that. Church, we get that.
Yes.
It's a great illustration. It's a great picture, but it's not the real deal. Okay. Did Jesus turn the water to wine?
Yes.
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 He didn't turn it to grape juice. Okay. There's some preachers that say that, and I'm
Yep.
going, be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the miracle? Was the miracle that he turned water purple, or was the miracle that he broke time and space and composition?
Yeah, because
Chemically
fermentations, it takes time.
Yeah, it does. It's not, and also if you read that passage, it says that when he made, why are you, the master of the party said, why are you holding back the best stuff?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean
the
the most
best.
intoxicating, because the most intoxicating Mad Dog 2020. It ain't the best. You know what I'm saying?
No, that'd be Everclear.
Okay. But you know what I'm saying?
Moonshine,
Yeah.
like
So, what I'm saying is, it's not the best.
no.
Right.
And so Jesus, they said, well, you're holding back the best stuff until now. And so, did Jesus do that? Yeah. What does that mean?
I don't know what that was. Right there. Yes, 100%.
Well, way to confuse me a little bit more. Well, yeah.
Let me bring this back. Give me a second here, okay?
He was thinking while he was answering. I do that all the time.
What I'm saying was, yes, he made the water
I know
to
you were thinking, but
wine, okay? What does the Bible say? The Bible says, obviously, it comes out and says, be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess. And we get focused on it. Don't be drunk with wine. But the Bible, the last part of that verse in Ephesians says this, but be filled with the Spirit.
Yes.
Okay? Be filled with the Spirit. And so let's bring this back around because this is for believers, right? For believers. What did Jesus command? What is Jesus' two greatest things? First of all, he said, he is not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance. Okay? That means that he wants everybody to be saved. It doesn't mean everybody's going to be saved, but it means that everybody can be saved. Everybody can trust Jesus, believe Jesus, follow Jesus. Everybody can. There's nobody that can't. And so we get into all these other crazy questions again. This is not one of those that, what about somebody that murders somebody or whatever else along the way? You know, God can save anybody anytime. He's God. Okay. Second thing, what does God want every believer to do?
follow him.
Share the gospel. That's why I left Matthew 28:8-20, which was go and teach all nations, baptize them in the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Everybody. We're commanded to go and to share the gospel. How do we share the gospel? First of all, by what we say, right? But second of all, by what we do. And we all know that. We all been there. I've been there. You know, some of y'all might be surprised. I used to say a few words at school when I was in high school, trying to be cool with everybody, and somebody got called out on it. You know, it's like, man, come on. You know, whatever. Here's the thing. People heard me say those things. There goes the black helicopters again, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a little.
They came fast to get us today.
That's the second.
That's the second time. Yeah.
No. But anyway,
I don't go check it.
Miami aliens.
they're running maneuvers. Oh, man.
We can't get into the conspiracy. Don't tip Brad here.
Sorry.
Put the carrot in front of him.
I just heard that out there with my headphones on, so I'm going crazy. Anyway, did you cut that out?
Yeah.
But God's called us to share the gospel with people. And if our lives don't equal to our talk, what happens? When our walk doesn't match our talk, are people going to listen?
No.
We lose credibility.
We lose credibility, which is why people call us hypocrites. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't. There are going to be times that our reaction is not Christ-like, and we're going to apologize to people for what we did. And our actions need to match our talk. And so we get to this point here with this and go, well, what about drinking? All right. Well, first of all, here's what I tell our kids at school. I tell our high school kids when I talk to them at church camp and different things. And here's what I tell about anything in life. Can we and should we are two different things. Mm-hmm. As a Christian, for our spiritual life, for our spiritual well-being, and also for our testimony to other people. Okay, can I and should I? Is God going to strike us dead for? And let me ask you this: what's God going to strike us dead for?
Whatever he sees fit.
The answer probably nothing, right?
Yeah, he could.
Probably
whatever.
nothing because he loves us, because he's merciful, because he's full of grace. The Bible does warn us there's a sin and a death, so don't push it because he could. Okay, but probably nothing. Does that mean that because he's not going to kill us, that we shouldn't do it? Think about growing up for a second. Are there things that we shouldn't do at home? Again, as a kid, should you play, with matches or whatever else? Chances are you're not going to burn a house down, but you might get hurt, or in the backyard and starting a fire or whatever else. Could you and should you? Two different things. Maybe it's not a great example, but it's the only I can think of off the cuff of my head real quick. But here's another thing. Let me read this verse to you. 1 Corinthians 6:12 says this. Paul writes, all things are lawful, which means God's not going to kill us unto me, but all things are not expedient or profitable. They don't help my spiritual growth. They don't help out my walk with the Lord. All things are lawful to me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. All right, let's talk about some stuff in life for a second. Alcoholism is terrible. When do you find out you're an alcoholic?
After you're an alcoholic, I don't know.
Probably after you push your family away.
Yeah.
And you're on the
or kill
rock
somebody.
bottom. That's
probably when it's too late. Probably when it's too late.
I mean, that's at least whenever you acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Probably when it's too late. You ever in DWI or whatever else. Let me throw this scenario out at you. If you never try alcohol, will you ever be alcoholic?
No.
You'll never be an alcoholic if you never try it. Right?
Yeah.
And so
It's a risk thing, is what you're saying.
here's my thing.
Trying to get to the point.
I'm trying. That's what I'm saying.
it's already
I warned
2:20.
you. It's hard. It's a long one. But
just
here's
get
the
to the
thing.
point.
First of all, it's a risk thing for your personal life. Okay, for your personal walk. Secondly, for your testimony. What would you think? And I know it's a different level here. I'm a preacher. I get that. What would you think if you saw me out the golf course drinking a beer? About me, for me.
I'm a little bit different than most. It wouldn't bother me so much if you had one. Now, if I saw you pound a six-pack down
one for
by the time we got to the ninth hole,
You haven't seen my golf
then,
game.
then, I'd have a problem with that because I don't even drink like that. Sure.
But most people.
But most people, they're pounding away.
No, but I'm a preacher.
Yeah.
How would most people think if I'm a preacher? You didn't know me. You saw me. You know as a preacher.
It wouldn't be a
Most
good
people
look.
would go, yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good look.
It would definitely look bad.
Yeah.
As like you're sitting here, you're trying to be a man of God. You're sitting here speaking truth, and you're out here cutting loose, drinking it. I would say it look bad.
You know what I'm saying? And so, first of all, it's a bad look for me as a preacher.
And your church.
But let's talk about this for just church people. For instance, Let's go anything. What's the level? We have levels of sin in our head, but all things are not good.
Sin is what you're saying. We have different consequences, but sin is sin.
We have different earthly consequences. And they can
trying to understand what you're trying to say because you're speaking in tongues over here.
Can I interject just for like maybe 30 seconds?
Definitely.
All right, so I think it's Romans. We don't need to cause others to stumble.
Yes.
And if that is even me taking a sip to cause somebody else to stumble, that's me. So I'm not going to do it. God also made the world, and in the world there's poison ivy. Does that mean I need to go roll up and smoke some poison ivy? No, we can have common sense and deter ourselves away from something that we know is proven to be self-destructive, family destructive, church destructive, because what we do is we put people on pedestals, and as soon as that leg falls out, then it's not just that person, it's everybody attached. And that goes back to the Romans where if you cause somebody to stumble, that's on you. That's a sin for you. Like if you lead, even though you're drinking that beer or whatever, and it's not an issue, you're not getting drunk, but somebody's like, hey man, he goes to church and he's drinking beer. I can go get hammered now. You just led to that. You were the responsible one. You caused it.
And let's talk about this even more. Let's go and drill down a little deeper. What about your kids?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, we don't know.
Goes back to the church thing.
We don't know what our kids, what's going to happen to them.
Like what they're susceptible to?
We might have a problem with it, but they might have an alcohol problem with it. They might have alcoholism. And we all have proclivities and gene devices, weaknesses, our devices, and those kind of things. And tonight I'm preaching on 1 Peter chapter 5, and it says, Satan is a roaring lion roaming about, seeking whom he may devour.
That was my next verse I was about to say.
And so that's the issue for me with drinking. It's not so much can we, it's more of a should we.
Exactly.
People say, well, what if we lived in Europe? My answer is this: we don't. I mean, if we lived in a different society and a different culture, let's go back to Bible days. What did they have to drink in those days?
Mead.
Nasty water.
Water? Was the water pure all the time? Or did the water give them...
Yeah. And also, weddings lasted a week.
Yeah.
It was
so
a celebration.
I'm not.
You're not going to get hammered on the first night.
The great thing
I got another 5 days.
The great thing is, it is 2024, and we have Dr. Pepper.
Amen. Mine's sweet tea.
And we have sweet tea. And we have... You can even get virgin drinks.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying
options.
We have the options and alternatives that they didn't have, and so to fluctuate back. So did Jesus make real wine?
Yes.
Yes.
Do some churches use wine in the Lord's Supper? Yeah, they do. Our church does not, because of people that have been saved out of an alcoholic background,
Exactly right.
and we don't want to cause them to stumble.
Yes.
No.
And so the Bible says
Mm-hmm.
fruit of the vine. The Bible says fruit of the vine, and it says that because now we have ways to keep grape juice. They couldn't keep it. They couldn't preserve it with our refrigerators.
Yeah.
And so now that we have refrigeration, now that we have opportunity, and so it's like, okay, so why do people drink alcohol? Why do people drink alcohol?
Some people say they enjoy it. But
Make
it's
them feel
like
better.
To get away from
It's
something.
to fit in, though. Most people, it's just to
It's
fit
a
in
peer
with the
pressure.
group, you know?
Yes.
And they don't want to stand out,
group.
you know?
There's so many reasons. And so
We're not supposed to conform to this world.
I would just encourage people to
Just question yourself. Why am I doing this?
look at the reasons.
I think it's good to question yourself. Why do I need to drink this?
Commercialization.
A lot of it is.
Yeah.
You know.
And acceptance.
Well, how
Yeah.
about take for instance like the Stanley Cups? I know this isn't alcohol, but I see every girl at Chick-fil-A now has a Stanley Cup. Why? Because that's the new fad.
Oh, not the
Trying to
Stanley Cup.
fit
That's
in.
I thought we were going to hockey.
Oh no! I said the same
But
thing.
you know what I'm saying? And then they get the one girl that doesn't, and she feels like, well, I'm not fitting in here. I need to go buy me a Stanley Cup.
I ain't paying $60 for a cup.
But
Buc-ee's has them just as good for cheaper.
Yep.
But they don't want to
Buc-ee's
look
sponsorship.
different. They want to fit in.
Yeah.
And that's where conforming, like Brett said, a lot of people drink also just to fit in and not look different.
And so
But we are called to be different. We are called to, now it's not a sin to drink, where people will say it's a sin to drink. It's not a sin to drink alcohol. But again, I don't want to make someone stumble, like Brett said, and I don't want to conform. And also, I don't know what my weakness is because my great-great-grandfather was an alcoholic.
And causing somebody to stumble.
Yeah.
Causing somebody to stumble. I'll say it this way too. Well, what if I just do it at my house by myself? My answer is you got to buy it somewhere.
Yep. You're going to be seen out in
You
public.
got to have a cashier that one day God may cross your path to try to help lead that person to the Lord. And they may
No,
be
you don't.
Christian.
You can have it delivered down. Just gonna throw that
But I
out
also
there.
think one more thing. It says in Scripture, whether therefore you eat, drink, or whatever you do all for the glory of God.
Amen.
We need to ask ourselves,
What are we
does
doing?
this, what I'm doing right here, does this glorify God? Can I glorify God in this? And even like playing sports, how we react matters and how we treat people matters. Because am I glorifying God by trash talking in the wrong way? You know what I'm saying? Like there's a way to trash talk, I would say. You know what I'm saying? But even beyond alcohol, gluttony. A lot of people forget.
bad.
A lot
It's
of
not
Baptist
good.
preachers struggle with gluttony. You know what I'm saying?
400 pounds.
And it's like we talk about alcohol, but we ain't talking about gluttony and things of this
That's
nature.
my
To
sin.
be fair, Miss A. She can throw some food down.
Those cinnamon rolls get me in trouble.
But my point is this: what we do, it should be for the glory of God. And I don't do everything for the glory of God, which is sad. But that's a sin, and that's where I'm trying to be better. But that's, I think, the question goes back to drinking alcohol. Does this glorify God?
And again, here
Can this glorify God?
backs it up to again where he's at exactly is, does it hinder people from coming to Jesus? And that's what I told our kids too. I said, hey, if you can share Jesus and do it, go for it. If it's going to hurt people from coming to Jesus, I probably wouldn't do it. And here's the thing again, one more final thing before we close out today. It's been a great week. And that's this. A lot of times if you have to ask, it ain't what you should do.
Exactly.
Yep.
When in doubt, be safe.
That's my thing.
Well, Brother Dave-
Growing up, I was the same way.
Yeah.
My mom and dad said, hey, can I do this? Dad goes, well,
You're already asking.
it's not like a permission thing. Like, Dad, hey, can I go over to somebody's house?
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, can we go watch this movie?
It already showing some kind of signs of conviction.
Yeah.
So you know that you're already getting worked over. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that says in Scripture, do it in faith. You know, and if you can't do it in faith, then
Yes.
Living by faith. Yep.
So,
Exactly.
Brother Dave McCracken, he did our church camp, but about 10 years ago, he did a revival, and he said, if you doubt it, don't do it. And that's one of the things that stuck with me is if you doubt it, don't do it. You know, you want to be safe at all costs. So not just a checkbox, but so we can live
life.
like Christ and represent Christ the best we can.
Do you want to help people come to Christ or hurt people from coming to Him?
Absolutely.
That's my signing off there.
question. Yeah. So we want to be a help to people to find Jesus, not to hinder them. And there's a lot of things that can do that, aren't there?
So just going back to you, Rusty, does this answer some of your questions, or do you have any?
No, I mean, it's
We're not gonna
just to a certain extent.
and that's the thing with Christianity is
It's a personal thing.
Yeah. No, it's personal.
You know,
conviction.
Absolutely
everybody
it is.
handles it
Yeah.
differently, and
Personal conviction.
you know, I could definitely see.
and at the same time, I'll just say this too. We ask our teachers at our church that teach our Sunday school, hey, if you're going to teach our church, you don't need to drink because it's an example for your class.
Yeah.
What if your kids knew? You're a Sunday school teacher. You're fifth grade kids. When do kids try alcohol the most? Scary. Now it's 5th, 6th grade.
Yeah.
You're going, dude.
Same with lust and
Well, let's talk about, we can talk about, we're not going to have time, but marijuana.
Yeah.
Who would have thought marijuana being accepted as it is you go to Oklahoma, there's a weed shop on every corner.
It's legal. That actually not even marijuana. You could get Delta 8, Delta 9, Delta 10, and it's legal in Texas.
Wow. We'll talk about that next time, but this is interesting. Should a Christian do that, even though it's legal? Just because it's legal, should they do it?
well,
No.
and if you're at certain positions in the church, you are held to a higher accountability. In
Sure
the
you are.
scriptures. So that's only smart to require that for your helpers.
What if you're using it for a medical purpose?
Are you? Some people say that.
Some of us have ROS, so.
Well, hey,
And the prescription stuff, it's terrible. Yeah.
I understand. My sister had some issues with some medical stuff. We can get, say that for next time.
Hey, save it.
Hey,
I'll
was
say
fun,
this
yeah.
too. One more thing before we go.
That's what he said 5 times ago.
I'm a preacher. Come on. It's in conclusion.
This is fourth.
Like, let's get to the
Our
point.
This is fourth point.
Our medicines always have come from plants,
Yeah.
and they're controlled. That's why they're called a controlled substance. Mm-hmm. And so I think if it's used in a controlled substance way, we might
think
think about it,
medical
but
is-
it's got to be, there are definitely mitigating factors of all that. You know what I'm saying?
It's another personal thing,
In a,
your personal walk.
yeah. And but
As
it's
a Christian.
Yeah, exactly. In a personal way, but it's medicinal. Paul said, "Low wine is good for the stomach medicinally," but now we got kale pectate and stuff to help some of those digestive issues out because they didn't have them in those days.
Yeah.
And so those kind of issues are definitely it. But yeah, some of the medicines today, man, you got conspiracy corner too. We're combining conspiracy corner
I was
and.
about to go to that too.
So anyway, we ain't got time for that.
We did get that in, and we've been talking about getting those questions in, so I'm glad.
We got one.
And we got another one coming up
Yeah.
from Rusty. But if you have a question, come on up. We need some more questions
Or send it in.
Yeah, send it in.
because we're gonna be talking about Miami aliens next week.
They just flew around. Thanks for listening in. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Hey, stay tuned for the next episode of Church Guys Podcast, where we jump into the playoff schedule, deeply into the championship weekend, preparing for the Super Bowl to see who's left and see who's left out. But then we're going to also talk about Conspiracy Corner, always interesting, always crazy. You never know what Brett's going to bring up. We're going to finally look at biblical topics. What a great week. We hope that you have a great week and continue our new year off following the right way and following God. We'll talk to you next time.